It's time for the show that brings the magic right to your speakers. Ears up!
Hey, everybody, welcome to 2023. I'm sure we are the first people to ever have said that to you, considering it's now January 12th. But Happy New Year, everybody. I appreciate you joining us for today. We are going to go through the best of the year in review, 2022 year in review. And this is one of my favorite shows that Jeremy makes me, bullies me into doing, in fact. And I appreciate him all the less for it sometimes. But I do enjoy the show. I like the show. The lead up to it is like, oh my God, dude. Just put a sack of rocks on my waist and make me walk through the desert. And then we get here and I'm having a great time already.
But don't you think this is easier than coming up with a topic out of the blue and then having to write about it and research it?
Oh my gosh, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It is. You're right. And, let's just do the weekend review. And every show this is going to be, basically
the weekend review.
We'll do the same topics. We'll do it 25 times a year. It'll be fun. It'll be fine.
Biggest winner of this week.
Yeah. Is the listener for hearing every single time.
They love it. They eat it up.
That's right. No, it's gonna be good, man. We got we've done this I think since 2000. What was it? 17? I think, Jared. Maybe 18 was the first one.
God, it's probably 18.
Yeah, we've done it for a while, and I'm excited about it. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a good time.
I never would have thought I'd still be doing it 5 years later.
Neither did I. So,
but here we are.
But here we are.
You know what we should do is do the review of the years in review and go back and talk about what was yours in 2018.
Oh, that would be actually, if I could find them. That'd be
and like, what were we like? Because
I got them all.
It would bring, it's me too, and it would bring up what that news was that year that we were all, what was so pressing in our lives.
Absolutely. What was so pressing? What we were complaining about then.
Right. Which,
reading through some of mine, because I read through mine at least from last year, if not from the year before, just to make sure I'm not repeating things, because I tend to do that.
Yeah.
And I basically would just shuffle ideas from one segment to the next for the next year. And it's like there's a theme, there's a thread. And I bet you can't figure out what his name is.
Stitch? It's Stitch, right?
Yes, it's Stitch. That's absolutely correct. But before we get to the show, everybody, I do want to say, if you're going to be going to the parks at all, or basically on any vacation, but mainly for the parks, go to concierge.com first and let them help you plan your vacation. Because let's face it, you don't want to plan your vacation. You want to go on your vacation. And while you're there, if something goes wrong, if you want to do something extra, like do some Disney dining or, change your reservation or learn how to do something, you have nobody in your corner. If you just go through the parks to pay for your tickets or everything, it's like wait in City Hall line or approach a kiosk and talk to some weird person in a plaid, vest, which is like, who wears plaid anymore? You know what I mean? The concierge will do all that for you. All their folks will help you navigate your vacation in the best way possible, which you don't really think that you might need until you know that the service is there. So check them out. Go to concierge.com and learn about all the services they have. It's no extra charge. They charge you just what the hotel is going to charge you or the Disney parks are going to charge you. But if you buy your hotels through concierge, they will also be looking for ways to save you money on the hotel. So if there's a lower price they can get, they'll book it and they'll refund you that money. So, it's good. No, who else does that? You think Disney's going to do that? When was the last time Disney ever gave you your money back without asking? Never. You know what I mean?
I think that's true. Yeah.
I think that's true as well.
Yeah, and they gave me side eye the last time I asked for money back.
Who, concierge? Oh, no. How dare they? What were their names? What were those? Who was it? Was it Jimmy? It was Jimmy, wasn't it?
No, guest services at Epcot.
Really? What were you demanding?
So this year,
you were being the Karen?
2 years in a row, my mom has had to cancel her trip down here. First, last year it was to visit me for Christmas. Last year it was COVID, and this year there was a massive snowstorm that pretty much covered the entire country in snow.
Yeah, right.
And so she wasn't able to come down, and two perfectly legitimate excuses. But I went up and I said, "Hey, I've got a park ticket. It's for this Christmas Eve. could you just give me the money on a Disney gift card, whatever. Like I wasn't even asking for it to be fully refunded. I was just getting a gift card. And he's like, let me see. And he tap, 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 tap. And he goes, seems this happened last year too. Like I'm running some scheme.
Yeah,
like,
once a year.
It did.
I get a ticket refunded during huge national emergencies.
And you're also not taking back any like extra money. You're just asking for your own money back in Disney dollars.
Yeah. Big believer in climate change, are you? I see. Okay.
Yeah. First of all, I couldn't believe that they had some sort of note that my mom had canceled. And second, that he would make me feel, this is emblematic of Disney today, though. You are wrong. You are lucky we're letting you in here. This is how guest services treats people who, how about a little sympathy? My mom's had to cancel her trip. I don't get to spend Christmas with my family 2 years in a row. How about a little sympathy? No, instead I get side-eyed looking like I'm trying to screw them over on $160. But that's Disney today. That's guest services. These are the people who are trained to be nice to you. This isn't the idiot, running the ride.
I liked your cast member voice, by the way.
What did I? Well, that,
like, I don't know. Let me look it up for you.
Well, let me see.
Started sounding like a Rip Torn, or I don't know, man. Just let me look it up for you. Throwing confetti everywhere.
Rip Taylor.
Rip Torn.
I thought it was Taylor.
No, it's Torn.
Rip Taylor's a different Rip.
Yeah,
but he also has confetti.
Oh,
and Rip Taylor loves confetti,
and he's also dead. Rip Taylor have confetti?
So, see, there you go, Rip.
Or maybe he's more glitter.
I don't know. Yeah, who knows? But anyway, I'm sorry that happened to you, Jeremy, and but it's also very funny. Let me look that up for you.
Yeah.
Welcome, Taryn.
Why, hello. Oh, geez. Hello, everyone.
There you go. There you go. Terrence is in the chat, everybody. Terrence, if you want to join us on the show, you don't have to. Let me know. I'll email the link. Okay, what else are we going to do here real fast? Oh, I wanted to point out, I finally got, I'm not going to play the commercial, but I finally got my hands on some Brew Free or Die Cold IPA from 21st Amendment. Oh, I mean, sorry, it's Brew Free or Die Cold IPA, right, Taryn? That's the name of it.
Yes. Brew Free or Die Cold.
Yeah, Brew Free or Die Cold IPA. So today's show is brought to you entirely, the entirety of the show is brought to you by me drinking Brew Free or Die Cold IPA. And it's delicious. It's
like the entirety apart from the
lager
portion that's brought to you by Concierge.
Well, you know what I mean. Me entirely drinking through the whole. It's the only thing I'm going to drink through the whole show.
Neat.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Bev, welcome back. I feel like honestly I haven't seen you in like 4 months.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute, man. How have you been? You went to the parks, or were you just like tooling around doing whatever you do?
Have I gone to the park since I saw you last?
I don't think
so. Just like tooling around.
Yeah. Yeah, just spinning around, man. Having fun, having a good time, having a grand old time.
I was having a grand old time. Just been busy.
All right. Well, that's cool, man. That's not as interesting as I hoped it was going to be. So
good segment.
Yeah,
got
I appreciate that, Bev.
Got a new job. Got a new kid. Life's been busy.
New kid. Hey, there you go, Sam.
AKA tooling around.
AKA tooling around.
Tooling around, man. Tooling. That's gonna be a new shirt. Tooling around the parks. That's a new segment.
You tooling, bro?
Yeah, I got the toolie. Speaking of tools, we have a new show. We have a new show on the network called Puny Pod, and it is run by our very good dear friend RGH.
Oh my word!
Yeah, the tool thing is a joke, by the way. And David, who's I think he does some stuff with Supreme Resort. I don't know if he's been on the show. I think he's been on the show a couple times. But RGH and David have a Puny Pod podcast, and it's all about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they're going to be watching the movies in order, and then be talking about them, sort of breaking down the plot and what the movie's about, and then also some behind the scenes stuff. Some odds and ends about maybe lore that wasn't put into the movie. They're also going to be addressing how the movies differed from the comic books, because a lot of the character arcs and a lot of character background stories were changed for the movies to make them a little more cinematic. So we're going to be covering all that. So if you want deep dives into the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, PewniePod is for you. There are 3 episodes out now. There's a trailer and like an intro, and then episode like 1 is out, and it's like an hour and a half. I mean, these guys don't fool around. So check them out wherever your podcasts are, your greater podcasts are found. PewniePod.
I like the idea of that. It sounds like it's really cool. Also, why puny? What does that mean? Because I assumed when you said puny that meant it was like a 15-minute show or something. But so what's puny? Is that something to do with Marvel?
Yeah. So puny is like it's like a callback to the Incredible Hulk, because he would go like puny human, the Hulk thing. Microphone stand.
Well, and
Neat.
it's specifically to the Avengers where he beats up Loki and walks away saying puny god. Yeah.
See, there you go.
And Ryan said in the chat here, he's not sure if he likes that segue. And I've just got to tell you, Ryan, that's kind of all you can expect around here.
Yeah, it's kind of all you're going to get, dog. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not going to get better. Just deal with it.
Yeah, I'm not well known for promoting shows. Bev's
Boy,
farting
howdy.
around with her background. There she is.
Ooh,
What is that? Tiana's it's like
Tiana's.
all over you.
very topical. She's got
I
like
can't
streamers coming
find
out of her
any.
face.
You're doing great.
I have this one.
Well, it's weird because like the
But it's, like, shining
the
through my
glare from your
eyes.
shirt from your sweater, like your sweater's half disappeared.
Why is it like that?
Because my sweater's green.
No, it shouldn't matter, but it's like your couch is there. I think it's having a hard time with your depth of field.
It might, because I think in the preferences you can say, are you using a green screen? Her green screen feature might be ticked, and that's why it's blending. Do you know what I mean?
It goes away if
know,
I
maybe.
take.
I don't know, but we'll figure it out later. How about that?
Look at now, she's part of
Actually, maybe just leave it alone.
I'm leaving it.
No, if you
Yeah, leave it. This is
lean
really
back
cool.
against your couch, it goes away.
But
No,
then
it's-
it's not
it's
close
just-
enough to the microphone.
I
and you'll
understand
yell
that.
at me.
I'm just saying it's the depth of field. That's all. Don't suck your teeth at me.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. PewniePod, check it out. All right, let's get into it, man. I'm very excited for the year in review. I was supposed to have music. I don't have music.
Yeah, didn't we have music last year?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know why you got to bring it up, Taryn.
You brought it up.
You
Okay.
brought it up.
this is a big event. It's supposed to have music.
I know.
Join us as we unravel the magic behind some of Disney's most beloved
Perfect.
pieces of music. It's
The year in review. See, you guys thought I wouldn't take this seriously, but this is the most serious I've ever been in my entire life.
You nailed it.
It's true.
Thanks. I appreciate that. The year in review, everybody. 2022, man. The older you get, the longer the summer is, and then the shorter the winter is. I swear to God. By like October, I'm going, oh man, this year is never going to end. And I feel like that was yesterday.
You get that feeling?
Yeah, I do. I do.
That the year is never going to end?
Yeah. It's just like, wow, it's taking forever. These days are just dragging by. And then basically, once my birthday hits, it's just all a speed, jump. Ski analogy. It's all a skiing analogy until Christmas.
Crazy.
Yeah, something like that. I think it's good. Jeremy, how did your New Year's show go? Speaking of Spectro Magic.
I don't know. I don't remember it.
It was delightful.
This kid was on Instagram Live, man, just being Jeremy, and it was a delight. We rang in the new year with Jeremy.
Did I
live on Instagram.
100% video screen grab you making a martini? Yes, I did.
Yes, I was making drinks with Jeremy, but my favorite part was when it was after midnight our time. It was like 12:03 and you were like done.
Oh, was I?
Didn't say goodbye. Didn't
Yeah, you just bounced.
done.
Just pieced
That's
out.
right.
You were,
And I think it was like mid-sentence too. I definitely took some screenshots and a couple photos, and I put them in the Discord. And it's very much, it's very much Jeremy.
see, I didn't share it with
Freak.
anybody
Oh yeah, no, I put it in Discord.
other
because-
than Terrence.
yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? I said I'd do it, so I did it.
I look
Good job.
forward to it
That's
Me too.
every year.
See, Bev,
every
what
year.
you have to do is share it to you feed it back to him the next day. So just so
No.
he knows.
I don't want.
No.
I don't want you to. No.
Oh, I wake up, you feel horrible. I'm like, oh man. And I'm like, I barely remember that I did it. I was like, what? I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this? And he's sending me screenshots of my
Mm-mm.
face. Like, I was like, can you stop
So
sending this?
terrible.
I was so happy not remembering this. And then I told him, I was like, well, I hope you enjoyed it because I'm never doing it again.
Yeah, I've heard that
Over.
before. Right.
I remember staying up late on your couch, Jason, and we
Mhm.
were singing and you were recording and posting things. You, Jeremy, were posting things to Instagram, and I got up the next morning and you're like, yeah, I deleted all of that. I was like, thank God.
You know what I found? You're talking about the anniversary show or whatever?
It was a different time.
Christmas? Because I found a recording of Sam playing the guitar on my phone from one of
In
the-
your kitchen.
Fun.
He had the wig on and everything.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. Anyway, brother, here's Wonderwall. All right.
I think I like your impersonation of Sam singing almost as much as I like Sam singing. Like it's very close.
Yeah, well,
Excuse me.
I appreciate that. You all right, Bev?
I died a little, but I'm fine.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, my car died. She got.
Whoa.
Darn.
Yeah. She had a good life.
Did she, though?
Yeah, 350,000 miles.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty good, man.
That's
She had,
insane.
she had a good life.
Did she die resting home peacefully, or was this like in the middle of a road somewhere?
She died at home, but she was driven home. And when I got home and I turned the car off and I called Sam from the car and I was like, my car is smoking.
No.
And then he got in the car very, very saltily and said, how long have you been driving it when it's been overheating? And I was like, first of all,
he's blaming you. Okay.
Rude.
50,000 miles.
First of all, rude. Second of all, I told you yesterday that I noticed that the temperature gauge was doing something weird. I didn't happen to notice that it was completely overheating on my way home today.
It's doing
Forgive
something
me.
weird. Well, what's it doing? Moving?
But
Spinning the
apparently,
needle.
apparently to fix it, it's like $2,000, but it's not worth $2,000. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna get a car, I guess.
There you go.
Meh.
God bless. All right, let's get
Well,
into
that's
it.
the biggest loser of 2022.
I know.
John.
Damn it.
Already.
Bev's pocketbook.
Bev's Acura died
Yeah. But the biggest winner, also ironically, is Bev's Acura.
because it lived real.
He would
real
rather
long.
die than be
Sorry
driven by
to see
you
you
again. Sorry to see you go. Also, most boring. This segment about Bev's car.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Eric, I'm going to ask you as the new guy. Why don't you start off? Biggest Disney winner.
Sorry.
Yeah, Bev, you have a mute.
I have to
for
mute it. I
God's
know.
sakes.
I'm just gonna
Use
keep-
it.
Actually, I haven't been here in so long I forgot, and I'm just actually now just gonna cough directly. I have all this new stuff that you sent me, so I'm just gonna cough directly into it to see how good it sounds.
It's a test.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be great.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay. Great.
Eric, turn yourself up a little bit, please.
Okay. Yes, I am sitting further away now that I'm
Perfect.
just for visuals. I'm sitting further away.
Yes. Right.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I hope the chat appreciates that.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
Yeah.
It was so bad when they could see right through my shoulder.
Yeah.
Anyway, biggest Disney winner. I'm going with Uber and Lyft. After the
Whoa.
closure of the Disney's Magical Express service, people coming to the Orlando area now have to take Uber and Lyft away from the airport. They can also use bus lines like Mears or the Sunshine Flyer, which is a bus line that is decorated like a train. And the driver is in a conductor's costume, so that's fun.
It is fun.
But
love that.
I think Uber and Lyft seem to be pretty popular unless you want to get the experience of waiting in a line like you did for Disney's Magical Express. None of that luggage service you used to get. We might talk about that later. But you will save some money if you do that scheduled bus line. So if you want to save some money, you can go that route. But I just see a lot of people talking about how much it costs to take an Uber and Lyft out. Lyft being kind of preferred because it's preferred at Walt Disney World in general. But yeah, I think good for them. They're getting
Great.
some extra cash.
Yeah, good for them. They
Yeah.
need it, to be honest
Right.
with you.
Come on, all that bad press. Thank goodness.
Really?
There we
Right.
go.
Yeah,
Biggest
for sure.
winner.
All right. That sounds great. Taryn, you haven't said a whole lot. Let's go.
No, I'm having just issues with this setup. So
Uh-oh.
I'm trying not to say much.
What's the issue?
Well, I keep hearing myself in your microphone, not my own. So
Mm-hmm. She sounds weird on our end, on my end.
No one said anything until 21 minutes into the
that's
show.
why I haven't been saying anything.
She hasn't talked.
You don't, I mean, right now it's fine.
Yeah.
But,
I haven't heard anything weird on my end.
Oh, I think you will. But I mean, it sounds okay now.
What does it sound like to you, Beverly?
Beverly.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a different mic, like a computer mic or something is picking her up.
And your mics are off?
This is what happened last time too. Yeah, my mic is off. It's I think it's picking up from your mic for some reason when I
Right
talk.
now, I hear you through your mic for
Sounds,
sure.
sounds
Yes.
great. Yeah.
Right now it's fine. I think it's I don't know what it is. If it's when he's talking and then I talk, or if I talk over, I don't know. It just happens sometimes. So I've been just not saying much.
Do you guys hear it? Did you hear it just then?
No.
No.
Check. No.
Do you hear it now?
No. I guess it was just, I don't know. I'm surprised that yeah, there it was. Just happened.
I can't hear it. Okay, well, you know what?
Interesting.
Forget it. Who cares? We'll just plod along and I'll fix it later.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. All right.
I think what you're hearing is when you're off mic, the sides of the mic are picking you up.
Like this?
I think that's what you're hearing.
I think it's when you get loud.
Yeah, it's when I'm too loud.
Hmm.
So I'll just talk quieter.
Doubt it.
Okay. So biggest Disney winner, right? Mine
I heard it that time.
me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just when she's off the mic a little bit. Don't
But
worry
I
about those.
wasn't-
No, but trust me.
Okay.
Just try to stay, because when you were about to start talking, you went up and your mouth you went over the top of the microphone. So that's all. But I'm going to leave all this in the show so everybody knows exactly what I have to deal with on a daily basis. Go ahead.
Biggest Disney winner for me is Josh D'Amaro, because looking svelte in his slightly too tight jeans and designer button up, D'Amaro has emerged totally unscathed from the Chapek fallout, even though I think many of his initiatives that Chapek stood behind, especially the park issues that get fans riled up, were likely D'Amaro's initiatives, not Chapek at all. But our silver fox sits there in his skinny jeans, smiling from his Sleeping Beauty tower as he seems unfazed by the Chapek shakeup and continues to reign as both king of the parks and Disney's biggest winner.
Very good, Taryn.
Ah,
Beverly.
I hate that he's the biggest winner,
I know.
but
I mean,
I
he
understand where she's coming from.
does come out
With
of
his
this whole
fluff.
thing smelling great.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's not gonna. Go ahead.
He's just always so smiley, and I'm like, now
And
it just looks
handsome.
like a smug smile. Yeah, but now it just seems smug. Like
And handsome.
I did it.
Handsome.
Oh my God.
Well,
Beverly,
he's not
why don't
gonna
you
come
go?
out of this smelling great, because I'm about to put a lot of stink on him. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh no.
Putting some stank on his hang low. All right, Bev.
I had to go with the obvious choice. Bob Iger's the biggest Disney winner.
Mm-hmm.
That dude's coming, like, he left. The person he chose, quote unquote, failed. So he's taking back his old job, but probably still collecting his retirement along with a salary. Homie
Yeah,
is
maybe.
doing great.
Yeah. I feel like sort of if
And he's coming out smelling like roses, like they just lowered, like they're quote unquote, again, lowering prices or making
Mhm.
things more, like he's just,
it's like if I put Alice in charge of the show and then a month later I was like, you suck, I'm taking it back.
right, exactly.
Yeah. It's like, whose fault is it? For me, the biggest Disney winner is Christine the Usurper McCarthy,
Oh God.
Oh,
CFO. This woman unhinged the Disney company from the inside, forever branding Chapek as a one-term president, for lack of a better phrase. She had been held up as the hero 2022 needed, when the reality is her services were never asked for. As a result, there are speculations that she's next in line for Iger's job if he leaves in 2 years. She's the only one who comes out of this Iger's return mess unscathed. Iger looks a fool, Chapek looks inept, and the rest of the board look like a bunch of inexperienced milquetoasts. That's my biggest Disney winner. I mean, because she did this whole thing. She's like the savior now suddenly of the whole company. Everything's so great now because Christine McCarthy was the whistleblower that we needed. When in reality, she can just go hang out with Edward Snowden and get out of here somewhere.
Well, there are rumors that she was presenting different financials to Chapek that she was to the board. There seems to be a lot of
What?
There's
God,
a
I
lot
hope
of
that's
intrigue
true.
happening.
Oh, I hope that's true.
There is a lot of intrigue, and that's a rumor, but that's what's being talked about right now.
Can
and,
you imagine if that was the case? If that somehow came out, because there's got to be a paper trail for this.
Mhm.
If that came out where Chapek's like these numbers were not what was presented to me. Oh my God.
That'd be wild.
Oh, I hope that happens. Oh,
Then equally, one of the things that she used to say that he wasn't doing things properly was remember the reporting of certain things. We talked about it on In Depth, saying that shifting costs to other areas of the company to say they weren't from Disney Plus so that it didn't look like it was hemorrhaging money as bad, which is insane because it was hemorrhaging money horribly. So the fact that that is the fixed number is ridiculous. Like the fact that it was actually worse in reality.
Yeah.
So I don't know what was going on, but boy, there's a lot of intrigue going on.
Boy, howdy. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for this year. I really hope one of these people writes a friggin' book. There's got to be a book coming out this year about this whole thing. There's got to be.
I think there's a lot of NDAs out there.
Yeah.
that are going to prevent that
Sure.
from
Oh,
happening.
that's
Thinking
very
maybe
good
there's
point.
a couple books that are going to come out in 5 years.
That was also what I thought one of my predictions was going to be was Chapek's going to write a book. I'm like, no, he's NDA'd up no matter what. But it's going to be like the late night wars between Letterman and Leno when that whole series came out. Like it's going to be like that. It sounds like it. That'd be great. All right, biggest Disney loser.
Do I get to say my winner?
Oh God, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Jeremy.
My biggest Disney winner for 2022 is Disneyland Paris Resort. It was their 30th anniversary this year, and it was much more well received than the 50th anniversary that Walt Disney World put on this year, which we'll be talking about later. They had a drone show over their castle. It was launched with a light show on the Eiffel Tower in Paris. The Disneyland Hotel, their signature hotel that straddles the entrance, is getting a major refurb. The Disney Village is seeing massive investment and a facelift, and there is huge investment into their Avengers campus, a Frozen Land coming. They've put a lot of money into the Walt Disney Studios there. I think this was the year of Disneyland Paris. They are the biggest Disney winner for me for 2022.
Do I get to say my winner?
Nice.
What are you, a cast member now? Guest services? We'll just look at your winner then.
Seems you skipped me last year too.
Yeah, I probably
Oh,
did.
well.
Yeah.
You have. All right,
man.
loser. Let's
Biggest
go.
Disney loser. First of all, I'm not a loser.
He does.
I'm a winner.
Aw.
Eric, let's go. You might as well
All
just
right.
you're top of the order. Let's go.
Okay, every time. Okay, we're not going to mix it up or anything. Okay.
No, I mean
I
maybe
can't
we
steal
will.
any of your
Depends.
answers.
It depends
Don't
on how
question the
many
host.
brew free or die cold IPAs I can get my hands on.
Okay. Sully sends them out. Disney Pixar and Disney films in general are the biggest Disney loser in 2022. In general, they suffered from a lack of marketing. Turning Red wasn't even released in theaters. It barely got any noise despite being very well received, 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, only 20.1 million in limited theater releases. Otherwise, it's just hanging out on Disney Plus. And unless you're looking for it, the algorithm hasn't shown it to me in a while. Lightyear made 226 million worldwide in theatrical box office returns. Middling reviews, decent streaming, but as far as most streaming goes, we know it's only there for 1 week and then it's gone. Strange World, similar situation, pretty well reviewed from what I've seen. Worldwide theatrical release only brought in 72 million. Estimated to have lost 100 to 150 million dollars on that film.
Wow.
It came and went with nary a peep,
What
except
movie?
for
What-
what's that?
I'm sorry, but what film are you talking about?
I'm
That's the
sorry. I know
general
I'm interrupting you, but I'm
response.
going to keep doing it. What?
Yes.
Huh? Strange World. Yeah.
It's Jake Gyllenhaal is the voice of the main character, and it's about a world that's strange.
Yep.
Oh, yes. We talked
Yeah.
about that on In Depth.
Yeah. How like nobody cares about it.
Yeah. There you go.
Never
Disney
heard of it.
Movie Club just suggested I buy the DVD, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I think so.
Yeah, you're gonna buy it, huh?
There we go.
All right.
Start 2023 off with a bang.
That's right. Going back like it's 2005.
With the
Yeah.
DVD.
Can you send me that cassette?
Yeah. I'm gonna need Laserdisc, please. Who's next? Who wants to go next? Bev, go next. Biggest Disney loser. Let's go.
I think the biggest Disney loser is the Disney California Adventure Avengers Campus.
Oh, yes, Bev.
It is the most afterthought of every afterthought ever. Like, it is just, they took something that had rides and functioned, and yeah, it was dated, but at least it served a purpose, and they replaced it with a building and a shit ride.
Whoa, Beverly.
Sorry about the S word,
Beverly.
but I said what I said. Maybe I'm the biggest loser for having gone to Avengers Campus.
Sponsor out.
That is my answer.
You know what? I agree with Bev. You can't dangle a mannequin between two buildings and call that an attraction. That's not.
Thank you.
Stop it.
Talking about tomorrow, or are you talking about?
Oh,
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
The most
yeah.
entertaining thing I've seen with that Spider-Man was when it malfunctioned and crashed into the wall.
Right.
It's
Well,
funny
now the
because
most-
like it's so much like that Spider-Man thing, the robot represents so much technology, so much R&D, so many man hours in research and design, all that kind of stuff. And it is just you're throwing a couple $1 million to the air. I mean, it is sort of like it's cool, and then you see it again, you're like, huh, it really just sort of does that, huh?
Yeah.
one
I mean,
trick.
you might as well just have like projected it on the side of the building. Saved a bunch of money.
Yeah.
It is odd. It's cool. Odd.
That's
Okay,
it.
sorry. I thought everyone had something else to say. That was a good pause.
Loved
Who's
it.
next? Jeremy, why don't you go next? Because I don't want to forget about you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
The biggest Disney loser of 2022 is the Reedy Creek Improvement District in Florida. This is Disney World's self-governing zone. They've been running things themselves after a public row between then Disney CEO Bob Chapek, who is gone, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Disney's special autonomous and self-governing improvement district, along with 5 others similar in the state, were brought into the limelight of government scrutiny, causing a bill to be passed that stripped the Reedy Creek Improvement District and the others of their special status, subjecting them to a host of statewide laws, regulations, and fees they had heretofore avoided. A notice posted this Friday by the legislature on Osceola County's website outlined potential changes that might keep the framework of the special district, but makes a series of changes, such as the state dictating who runs the district. Also, the changes would make clear that the district's debt cannot be transferred to nearby local governments, while raising the possibility of a new name for
Wow.
Reedy Creek. So Reedy Creek, biggest loser of 2022. It's gone, baby.
Jiminy Christmas. Okay. All right. Taryn.
Well, not to state the obvious, but I don't think you can put anybody in this category except Bobby Chapek.
Boo.
100%.
He
Boo.
lost his job on a Sunday in front of the entire world and was replaced by his former and retired boss. Like, I mean, huge L. big time L.
Yeah, he's taking L's for sure. That's it, right?
Yep.
Okay, my biggest Disney loser is the Disney park fans.
Mhm.
You got price increases, you got IP moving in to take over pure and unique places, which we'll get to a little bit later. Infighting amongst the highest levels of management. It all translates to a bad experience for us, the fans. Some of it doesn't translate directly to the parks, but it is more of the vibe we have for the company and how that vibe is slowly eroding. I don't like it. It's just amateurish on a larger level than I think we even know about. So I think it's the Disney park fans and the brand fans, encompass some of that too. I think we're all a little bit worse off, I think, because of all this weird stuff that Iger's put us through.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Bev still hasn't found her mute button.
She can't hear you.
I love that she can hear it. But you
She's a
just feel like,
friggin' walking sound. She's
clickety, clickety, is she tearing Velcro?
and you know what? She's always been this way. She's never not done this. Like in the other studio, she just like, your mic is on, Bev. Your mic is off, Bev. No one can hear you. We can hear everything. She can't do it.
Sam, pass me the Velcro. Put it right next to the mic. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a fidget spinner, but in reverse.
You guys, she's only been doing this for like 10 years.
Yeah, let's give her some time. Let's give her a chance.
I'd say sorry, but
No,
But you're not.
no, yeah. Why would you?
it implies I'm gonna try to change.
Yeah. Did we forget anybody before I move on?
Nope, that was everyone.
Okay. We're gonna do one more. We're gonna take a break so I can get another brew free or die cold. Okay, this category, the most boring. What is the most boring thing about 2022? Are you raising your hand, Taryn?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay, this is great for radio. Taryn, why don't you start first? Give Eric a break.
All right.
All right.
Star Wars Galactic Cruiser. Now, it's not that I've experienced it, but if it was anything but boring, we would hear something. Anything. But there is no news. There is nothing. No one is talking about it because no one cares. It is boring. Case in point, when I Googled Star Wars Hotel to figure out its real name, Google suggested, is Star Wars Hotel still open? Because that's what people are asking.
Big time yikes.
Yikes. It's obviously boring.
That's interesting, Taryn.
I want to do that now. I'm gonna look it up now. Let's see. Star Wars Hotel.
Is it
You're
still
right. No one
priced
talks
so
about
highly?
People ask, is Star Wars Hotel open? Where is the Star Wars themed hotel? How much is it? How do you book a room in Star Wars
no
Hotel?
one talks about it. There's nothing.
No one talks about it. No one post. You see, people post stuff all day long. No one's
About
posting.
everything. No one posts because no one's going there, I don't think.
I must
I
be
don't-
on a
This is
different
fascinating.
Reddit page than all of you.
Oh, really?
I guess so. I
Well,
don't
I've
see
looked
anything.
I've looked up stories of the hotel on Reddit before, and I'm still kind of
Well, this is
plugged into that,
Google.
so I see it all the
All
time.
right. Well, that's
Yeah.
good. But yeah, I don't see any news articles about it at all.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Ever since they said, hey, DVC folks, do you want to use all of your points for this year, next year, and last year, and also 3 years from now? You can go to the hotel.
Now,
And they said, yeah. All right, Eric, go ahead, please. Most boring.
Most boring. D23. Hey, remember all that cool stuff we promised for Epcot the last time we did D23? What was the thing that excited you the most? I bet it was a statue of Walt. You're getting the statue of Walt.
Yeah, D23 was sort of like weird, man.
That's it.
Yeah. Don't forget the cool video games panel. That was always a blast. Yeah, it was sort of weird. I didn't like it. It was boring.
Yeah, everything, all the announcements were kind of like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
well, and
Well, they-
also,
Go ahead, Drew.
this was going to be this was my backup
Yeah.
enough already, which is coming up later. And I ended up not having to use it. My backup enough already was going to be statues. These are theme parks. You've got to stop throwing statues in my face. The entire 50th anniversary was a bunch of statues.
Yeah.
And then
What is this, Gorky Park?
like, stop it. I'm not here to look at the terracotta soldiers in China. I don't want this. And then they have this, and Eric's exactly right. This whole Epcot refurb, they took away a fountain synced to music and lights and put in a statue. These people are out of their minds. And that's what they think we're supposed to. No, 100% enough already with the statues. Eric's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Jeremy.
All right, Bev. What are we doing? Most boring?
Yes.
All
So
right. I don't know why
actually-
Jeremy went to enough already, but that's fine.
That's okay. I have two.
What do you have to do?
One is Downtown Disney.
Okay. Most
Downtown
boring.
Disney
Okay.
is hella boring.
Really?
Yeah, like what is Downtown Disney? What is interesting about Downtown Disney? They're making Ralph Brennan's hot garbage.
That's
Mhm.
true. Yeah.
What else is good about it? Overpriced van store?
There's a van store now?
Well, maybe it's the Quicksilver store.
Oh,
I don't
There
know.
you go.
It's
Yeah.
dumb.
Okay.
But that's not my real one. My real one was the list of what are they called? The list of Disney legends for 2022.
Mm. Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
The 14 people that they added: Patrick Dempsey,
Right.
Patrick, Dr. Mc whatever.
Right.
Dr. McStuffins.
That would at least make it valuable. All he is, I mean, he's a character on a show that's on ABC that's
Yeah.
owned by Disney. He's the guy in the Enchanted movie. Like, why is he a Disney legend? What makes him legendary? Nothing.
You have a case of no award-itis.
Yeah.
Josh Gad.
Right. At
Jonathan.
least he's in a Disney movie or two.
Jonathan
He's made them
Groff.
millions of dollars. Yeah,
Jonathan
I agree.
Groff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the
Jonathan
whole
Groff.
Frozen cast.
He was
Yeah.
the voice of
Christoph.
Kristoff.
thank you.
I think he did great.
Sure.
He's the best part of the entire movie.
Sure, he's
Yeah.
great. Whatever. Legendary?
Yeah,
No.
one movie. One movie
You know
makes
what?
a
In
legend.
25 years, they're gonna be nominating key grips from that movie. You know what I mean?
Well, this is exactly right. Bev, they're casting the net too wide. Anyone who stumbled around these movies ends up getting a
Mhm.
legend thing, and it dilutes the whole purpose of having Disney legends. If there's no one who did anything great, don't offer it, or only do one or two. You
Yeah,
don't have
we don't need
14.
14. I mean, what was that movie with Nicolas Cage and the scroll?
Treasure.
National
Yes,
treasure.
that was a Disney movie. Is Nicolas Cage going to become a freaking Disney legend?
Oh my god, I really hope so. To be
Yeah, I'll be
honest
there
with
for
you.
that
I
one.
love
Just say-
kindergarten Tess.
Yeah,
I'm
I would be
just-
okay with that.
I'm just saying that, like, what constitutes a legend? Because you have your previous list of legends who are people who are of substance and who really did things to grow the company. And they are, like, you look back at, like, the history of the company and the foundation of it, and they are legendary. They were in, what word am I trying to say? They were
Legendary.
sure,
Yeah.
whatever. They were important. Patrick Dempsey is not important to the Disney, to the
Well, it's funny you
existence
say
of
that.
Disney.
Because I have him on the line right now.
Okay, let's
Patrick,
talk. Let's
Patrick,
talk.
what do you think about what Bev said? When you hear that again, when you listen to the show again, what are you going to tell her next time you're gonna meet her? What are you going to say?
Oh my gosh, I was just in there, the lights were low.
But what does that have to do? Whatever, Patrick, you're drunk.
Maybe
Um,
they should have that guy be a legend.
Oh my god, I hope so.
They should. He
The
earned it more.
the fastest removal of a video ever in history was that kid. All right, Jeremy, your turn.
Disney's hotel designs.
Mm.
These are so boring.
Yeah.
What are they doing? First of all, they've announced this new Polynesian DVC, which looks like a Hojo.
Yeah.
And then they're redoing these hotels, which we've been talking about at length on In Depth. I was brought to much notoriety with a tweet and a retweet this week, but forget
Oh my
about all
God.
that.
Let's humble brag a little bit in our most boring segment.
Wow.
I'm just
Anyhow,
mine is the oar that moves the water in Disney news, but that's fine. It's all right. I don't have to mention it. I'm not hung up on it or anything.
all they keep doing, they keep bringing these couches, they bring in these blue rugs, and they call it a refurb. And it's not. And they do it the same thing in every hotel. They all are looking the same. It's boring. You got a Hojo, you got blue carpets. That's not it, guys. You've ruined it. And they're de-theming those hotels. It's boring, most boring Disney's hotels.
De-theming is a good turn of phrase.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's coin that.
My most boring, hating on Bob Chapek, or more accurately, praising Bob Iger for making changes that were done under Chapek. Look, I've held my tongue until now. Well, not so much held it as let it wag, but whatever. Chapek was the fall guy. He was the big bad. He was handpicked to do the things he did and got fired for it. So why is it boring now to hate on him? Because it's never just one person. We don't know the timelines for any of the changes that have been made, how far back the approval pathways went. What I do know is that a company like Disney does nothing fast. I'm betting many of the issues people are attributing to Chapek falls under Iger's belt, but nobody wants to admit that. We're not ready for that conversation.
Such as
I don't know, because that would mean that I knew things, and I literally know things at all. I don't know anything. Are we done with most boring? Have we covered everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's take a quick break. I need another cold.
me too.
Cold IPA. I don't need another cold. I think Alice is sick again, so that's bad.
All right.
Anyway,
2
we're gonna
seconds.
take a quick break. We're gonna come right back here and wrap up. Well, not wrap up, but extend the year in review for 2022 here on Ease Up. Ease Up. What's up with that cough? We be sapti.
Back to Ears Up, where the opinions never stop. Ever.
All right, thanks for hanging on, everybody. All right, we left off with most boring, so now it is time for most underrated Disney attraction. This could be anything, a ride, attraction, or whatever it is. Eric.
Most underrated. I'm going with Davy Crockett Explorer Canoes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I tried them for the first time this year. I'm pretty sure they've come up in the past. I don't know.
The first time? You've never done it before?
Never done it. No.
What are you, 65 and you've never done this?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
That's
Right.
rude.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, sure. There's a short wait, even when it's fairly busy in the parks. You get some exercise. You can either put your back into it, or you can just pretend. You can just kind of like, oh yeah, okay.
Oh, good.
It's a different experience based on the random assortment of guests. If you've got a bunch of kids, get ready to start working. You're gonna get a sweat going on,
And you're going to get splashed because those kids have no
That too.
depth perception when it comes to like rowing and what is needed to
Skimming the surface
maneuver a
and flicking
vessel.
it.
Yeah. It's like, either you're going to get hit in the face or you're going to get splashed or both.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah,
But you're
And,
not going to get as wet as Splash Mountain. So it's kind of the perfect summer thing to do.
correct. I love that. It's great. We tried it. I forget when the first time we did, but it's like, I never want to not ride this ride.
Yeah. Different view of the parks. Like
Yeah, it's really low.
it's awesome. It's quiet
Right.
for
Yeah.
the most part.
And
That would be a good fundraiser. Jeremy, didn't you do some fundraiser thing with the Disney delinquents riding Splash Mountain? That
The
would be the
Disney-
fundraiser to just do nonstop riverboat the canoe friends or whatever it is.
Yeah, but then you get riverboat elbow.
Oh,
You're doing it too long all the time.
You'd get so swole.
Riverboat elbow.
I mean, change sides, Jeremy.
Yeah,
You're like,
I can't do it.
it's
This is
hard.
what I've abused my body to raise money for. I
Yeah.
don't know.
But I can speak from experience from doing Splash Mountain all day. You do get you don't get riverboat elbow, but you get chapped behind.
Mm.
'Cause
Okay.
It's wet and it stays wet
Dang, that's not
all
fun.
day. Just
I
letting
wish,
you know.
I wish this was the secret show. Okay, let's.
I literally have
Yeah.
an email open because I'm just making notes of Jeremy's sound bites for this episode. I'm like, this will just make my life easier for next.
Oh God, next Christmas.
Next Christmas, Jeremy's last.
You chapped your ass.
Very good, Eric. That was it. We're done with you.
Yes, go for it.
All right, Bev, most underrated.
I can't remember if this was mine from last year, but
Mhm.
it stands. The Animation Academy. It's great.
Hmm.
I think that
That's fair.
not a lot of people do it, and now I make sure I go every trip.
Yeah.
On my last trip, I went. I got when I got up and made all that noise. I was getting this,
Oh, that's
Wow.
That actually looks.
and
like
I can't
Oh,
draw
neat.
for crap.
That's pretty good. Let's just remind everybody what Terrence's looked like. Oh, you can't see it.
I can see it on mine.
Oh, yeah, you can probably see it on yours better. I still need to make that do a t-shirt. Let's just remind everybody, since Terrence isn't here.
I still like
What is that?
Don't even. It's supposed to be Eeyore, and I just
Eeyore. But it
don't
looks like a chicken with elephantitis of the ears.
And like a belly button
and like
buckle.
something's wrong with its belly button. Exactly.
It looks like a marijuana leaf tattoo on its belly.
That's exactly what it looks like.
It looks like a
That's a
version
chicken?
of like what
It's
Yeah.
Eeyore.
Oh,
it's Eeyore something,
Which
that's
makes
for
it
sure,
worse.
dude. Yeah.
Oh, poor kid.
Eeyore, I don't know, maybe not. All right.
Oh, boy.
Jeremy, most underrated.
the,
with the land.
It's been 2 years since I've said that.
I said it that same episode.
But along those lines, actually not along those lines at all,
Yeah.
the tiny little kiosk that sells beer in Canada.
Oh yes, dude. You were talking about this last show, I think. Amazing. What an
Correct.
amazing thing.
And I'm not talking about the one that's on the World Showcase Promenade.
Uh-huh.
No. I'm talking about the one that you have to go up the stairs, you take a left into the gift shop, go all the way to the back, and they're randomly selling beer. It makes no sense. It's the best place on earth. I love it. I brought Brad in there, friend of the show. He's great. And we go in, and I'm like, isn't this so amazing? And he's like, they sell 3 beers. Like, what do you? Yeah, it's fine. It's a place. And I was like, oh yeah, we're my favorite place. And then you know, so
That's
it was
where-
great.
That's where you are, I think. You're clinging on to any aspect of fun and freshness in that park. You're like, oh my God, a new place to buy a beer.
Well,
This is
and
amazing, everybody.
No one knows about it, and I give anything to. My favorite thing at Epcot is to have a beer in one hand and skulk around a gift shop, just looking at their
Oh.
stuff.
God, I
So
just
this is
want
the
to go
perfect
there with you
place
so
because you're
badly.
just in there and you're just like, oh look, a maple leaf tree ornament, cool. And
Bro,
you have your Molson and you sip it, and then that's it.
I
That's
love
life.
a gift shop. I love doing that. I love window shopping. I love shopping.
I loved the Japan store too.
Ah,
Mitsukoshi.
Oh, yeah.
So fun.
You can get ramen noodles in there.
Oh,
I just want to go back to Epcot and not ride a single ride
yeah,
Mhm.
you
and
don't
just
have to.
go pavilion
Yeah.
to pavilion and spend all my money.
Yeah.
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 I'm sure Iger
mean-
wants you to do that too.
You can also get ramen noodles in aisle 6 at Winn-Dixie. But why go there?
Right. Why pay a reasonable price when you can overpay?
Pay
Why
$150. and
Why
buy
spend
meal.
$1 when you can spend $6?
Right. Taryn, go ahead.
What are we on?
Underrated.
Underrated. Okay.
Thanks for paying attention, Taryn.
the most underrated.
Things Taryn Googled. Where are we in the show?
The most underrated Disney attraction for me is the Main Street vehicles. Now, I did a history show on these vehicles this year, and I was reminded of how cool they are. They each actually have a unique history, and when you ride them, you have the opportunity to actually chat with the drivers, which I think is kind of fun. And they often will tell you stories or give you tips and tricks. And most people walk right past these, but the lucky guests are the ones who actually ride them. And I think that they get a special treat. And it's one of the attractions that I think still brings that Disney magic.
I rode the fire truck for the first time on the last trip. And yeah, it was great. That was a new one for me.
Nice. Yeah. I think they're cool. It's not going to always be cool. Like if it's really crowded and you're one of 20 people on it, then maybe not. But like one time it was just me and Jason and the driver for like all the way down Main Street. And he just talked to us. He gave us his business card because Jason was like, oh, I'm interested in driving these. Like, well, you got
Yeah, it wasn't even a business card. It was a reference.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
was like, here, this is my name. If you ever apply, like, here's my reference. And I looked at him and I'm like, thinking, honey, you're not going to be alive by the time I apply. This man is like 8,900 years old.
But it was fun, and it's one of those Disney moments I'll always remember because it brought the humanity back, you know?
I agree. All right, my most underrated attraction. Now, I know most of you are expecting me to carry on my tradition of saying the benches. And you'd be right. It's the benches. Even though I've seen some growing bench love here and there, and while I'm excited for this sitting renaissance, it's time to keep applying my pressure to growing the cult of the bench before Iger pulls an Elon and removes it due to low usage. I love a bench. Everyone use the benches as much as possible. Please, for the love of God, sit on the bench, think of me, and sit on the bench again. Thank you for your time.
Lovely.
Was that it? Did we do everybody?
I'm excited about the sitting renaissance.
It's a renaissance of
overtaking
sitting.
all of us.
I mean, honestly, if you think about it, in Disneyland, it's, yeah, it is. It's a long overdue, whatever. Most overrated. Underrated. We got to do the other side, right? The yin and the yang.
Juicy one.
Yeah, Taryn, you go first.
Okay. The most overrated Disney attraction. Okay, I'm breaking the rules a little bit, but
The Disneyland Resort.
no, I'm gonna go with Tron. And I know it hasn't opened yet.
Tron. I was like, what are you talking about?
It hasn't opened yet, but it's a roller coaster. It's not Rise of the Resistance, and I think it's had this kind of following for so many years. It's taken them so long to get to this point, and people are going to be like, "Oh, cool! It's a roller coaster."
But you're on a bike.
So
You're hunched over like some animal.
yeah, but it's still just a roller coaster. Like I already think it's going to be overrated.
Are you aware of the neon?
Yeah. Did you know that there are layers to this?
Yes.
Fair
Yeah.
point.
There are lights, and it goes outside.
Right. Yes. So anyway, that's
Taryn's,
Okay.
Taryn has hit the nail on the head. She's absolutely spot on. I'm going to tell you why. First of all,
You
they
gonna
had to
mansplain for her?
close. They're gonna no, but they had. I want to just go a little bit. I want to go in depth. That's what I'm used to doing. They had to close. Thank you. They had no, please. They had to close the Walt Disney World Railroad, which is an iconic attraction that one is just wonderful, but two eats up a lot of people. They had to close it for 4 years
4
to build this
years.
thing.
yeah,
4 years it's been closed, you guys.
That's absurd.
it's ridiculous for a roller
Or
coaster.
what Taryn is describing is basically a roller coaster where you hunch over. And the other thing is
That sounds like my kind of roller coaster.
this roller coaster is like the first attraction in Disney World where you see the show building. The show building is visible. In it, my nephew very astutely came here 6 weeks ago, or no, 6 months ago, and he goes, "It's cool, but why does it look like offices?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." And
yeah.
it is ridiculous. Like, yeah, it does have a canopy on it, but that square blue box is visible inside the park from many different vantage points inside the park and from the resorts that overlook the park, which are supposedly overlooking something picturesque. I think you're right. I think it's overrated, and it hasn't been designed up to a point that it deserves. Like, it could be good. Space Mountain doesn't have a show building. It does. It's just designed well.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right.
It has theming.
So sorry, I wanted to just weigh in because I agree with
appreciate
Taryn.
that.
I
Sure.
appreciate it.
Well, yeah, it's been a month since you've complained about the sightlines. Lou in the chat goes, "Here we go."
Oh my goodness.
What the hell's Lou, by the way? There's no Lou.
Lou, yeah.
Lou's been here
Oh,
since
Lou's
the
about?
beginning.
Yeah, come on. Oh, now you doxed him.
Dang.
Did he really? No, he doxed
Aw.
himself. Did he
Yeah,
really
that's
say,
true.
"Here we go"?
Yeah.
Oh God,
Yes.
he did.
I'm gonna make it up. I'm not gonna just throw a joke on.
Can
Okay,
somebody
who's,
bring up Guardians now and get Jeremy started up all over again?
who's next? Because I'm terrible at keeping track of this mess.
I'll go.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
Don't sound so excited about it.
I'll go.
Yeah, man.
I made Terrence happy with my last one, so let's do that again. It's Soarin' Over the World. Because this was a year of firsts for me, 2022. I also rode Soarin' over California for the first time, and
Oh my
now I see
goodness.
why people like Soarin', and now
Yeah.
I like Soarin' Over the World less.
Okay.
Because I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's different and new. Maybe it's because you don't have as many bendy looking things if you're sitting not in the dead center.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was probably mostly just the change of pace, but the orange smell was fantastic. And getting
I'm
hit in
glad
the
that was
face with
working.
Michael Eisner's golf ball was also delightful.
Yeah. I'm glad that was working for you. The smell. You got to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
California is so much better than the world.
Yeah. Well, the ride too, and just the state in general.
Yeah.
I think it's me, right? Most overrated. Splash Mountain. Look, it's a good ride, but the theming was dumb and slapped together with a minimal storyline at best. The absolute best part of that ride is the drop, and then maybe that sort of meandering cruise towards the end afterwards. People making such a big stink over the retheme forget that the theme is secondary to the experience of the ride itself. The ride is not going to change fundamentally. It's just the dumb stuff you look at as you're driving through it. That's it. Splash Mountain in and of itself is overrated.
100% agree. I think that ride's so stupid.
Jeremy, what do you think since you basically lived on it for 4 years?
I think you are so wrong.
Oh,
For a number of years, I've said that Splash Mountain is probably one of the best rides at Disney because it incorporates all of the elements that are needed for a good ride. Animatronics, great lighting, good story, thrill, and fantastic
good story.
music.
You think the story of Splash Mountain is good?
What is the
Look,
story?
whatever.
Of
What's
Splash
this?
Mountain?
It's more story than I don't know. What's the story of soaring over California? Ding dang over the woods. Who cares? It's just like what I don't know.
Ding dang over the woods. It's a segment. It's going to be a segment term. All right, now it's time for Ding Dang Over the Woods with Jeremy Murray.
Here's a golf ball. Here's a mountain. Goodbye. Thanks for coming. Like what the hell? It has.
There's no story. There's no cohesive story to that ride.
Yeah, who cares? It has.
I do because
has-
it's part of the experience. Is it not?
Isn't there though? Isn't it the guy trying to not get caught by the other guys and then
He's
Very
running
good.
away from
That's
home
every
and
story
runs into
ever.
danger, and then he decides he likes.
and then
being
all of his
home.
little forest friends are like, "Oh no."
It's cute. It's got amazing animatronics. It's very immersive. I think the propping, it feels like you're in an animated movie. That's the thing. And but it also has thrill, great soundtrack. I think it has all of the elements that make a great ride.
Well, that's okay. I've been wrong once before too. You'll get used to it.
Oh my
All
gosh.
right, are we done with overrated? Everyone
No.
good?
No, I have one. Thanks.
No. I feel like I should say
You
Most
should.
overrated
Yes. Karen,
host.
keep track, please. Go ahead.
Petros.
Yo, absolutely. Go ahead, Jeremy. I've always said I'm a better co-host than a host.
Walt
you.
Disney World's 50th anniversary is my most overrated. What
Oh
a
my
wet-
God, you're so wrong here. The
Oh
storyline of
my
that 50th anniversary.
gosh.
Go ahead. I'm
This
sorry.
was-
Go ahead.
This whole thing was a wet fart. It was 18 months of snooze. We got a pink castle. We got a fireworks show called Enchantment that had absolutely precisely zero to do with the history of Epcot or the history of Walt Disney World. Whereas compare that to Disneyland Forever, which was their 60th, looked at Disneyland's history. What's the one for the 50th anniversary? Remember Dreams Come True. It was all about the things in the park. Tokyo Disneyland's 30th celebration was basically the same thing. It was a ride. It was a journey through the park. Enchantment, it's IP. It's got 2 Moana segments because one's not enough. We need more Moana. Just bring her back again because that has everything to do with Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary. Moana.
Everything IP. Everything.
So
Everything.
that sucked. But by the way, they heard the outcry because people were like, how are you calling this a 50th anniversary fireworks show? And they had to change it. And 6 months ago, they ended up adding in a beginning part to the fireworks show with Walt, with Roy, all about the opening because they knew they screwed up. The only people
Wow.
writing this ship are the fans who are making their voices heard. Then we go over to Epcot. What did they get? Harmonious. Huge taco barge oil rigs placed in the middle with a bunch of IP shoved in that park. That's headed for the ash heap of history they announced this week because it's so terrible. The number one response on Epcot surveys over the last 18 months negatively has been they don't like the barges. That is fact. People are filling out their exit surveys and saying, what's with these things in the middle of the lagoon? You've ruined it.
Wow.
And the other thing that they've noticed is attendance at the park at Epcot falls now throughout the day. It used to build. You had people coming in, they'd have fun at other parks, and then they'd go to Epcot, have a drink, and watch illuminations. Now they go to Epcot and they leave. Because
wow, that's crazy.
Harmonious is not a draw. World Showcase is a cash cow. You should be, the more people are going around that wheel over and over again, spending money on high markup food, high markup alcohol, and souvenirs in these countries. That's all they have to do. It's easy. Their countries just sit there. There's not really that many rides. But Harmonious wasn't keeping them there. These barges weren't keeping them there. They were driving them away. And so attendance was down. That's why they're getting rid of this whole thing. They've announced this week that not only is Harmonious going away, but the barges are gone too.
Good.
Not only that, we
Get
got no new
here.
parades. No old parades returned. Tron's not opening in time for the 50th. Hardly any nods to nostalgia at all. Basically, this was a merchandise play with some gold statues sprinkled around. The most overrated is
wound
Disney
Jeremy
World's
up?
50th.
He is wound up today.
I know, and it's 12:20 over here.
Good
I
God.
can't believe it.
All right, we're going to let Jeremy take a breath. And Taryn, now you're keeping track. Is it all done with most overrated?
Now we're done with most overrated.
Sad to see you go.
Oh.
Taryn, why don't you start first?
You were not done with most overrated.
No? Why didn't you say anything about
I was muted.
5 minutes ago?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, most overrated. Bev, go ahead, please. I'm
It's
sorry
okay.
that Taryn forgot
I
about
don't really
you.
have anything. It's fine. I'm just kidding.
I was about to reach through the internet. Turn that green sweater red.
This is sorry. I'm probably alone here, but I think Galaxy's Edge is overrated. It's 2 rides. I've said this before. One of them sucks and one of them hardly works.
And they're both the same.
This is true. I like this.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a bunch of shops. The theming is cool, sure. But
Oh, yeah.
as far as like, I don't know. I think it's overrated.
And the best part of the theming is the shopping area. That's it. Everything else is just sort of blah, in my
100%.
opinion.
Yeah, it's just brown. It's very brown.
Yeah, everything brown. All right, Taryn. Sad to see you go.
Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen.
Oh,
Oh, that's a
El
good
Marino,
one.
dude. Yeah.
I mean, technically it's still there, but it's dead to me. They've
True.
removed every speck of personality from that place. So that's sad. Goodbye.
Jeremy, go ahead, please.
All right.
George Kalogridis.
Mm.
George Kalogridis has
On
a long
Greek.
history with the Walt Disney Company. He worked there since while he was in college. He bussed tables at the Contemporary Resort when Walt Disney World first opened in 1971. Kalogridis quickly moved up the ladder, becoming vice president of operations for Epcot, senior vice president at the Disneyland Resort, vice president at the Disney Reservation Center, chief operating officer of Disneyland Paris, president of the Disneyland Resort from 2009 to 2013, and in 2013 moved over to the East Coast and became the president of Walt Disney World Resort. He's been there since he was a kid. He's moved up the ranks, and he knows who we are. He was there through the heyday when we loved the parks, through Eisner and the early days of Iger. George Kalogridis, he retired in May of this year. Sorry to see you go, but enjoy your retirement. It's well-deserved.
Wow. Another Greek down. That sucks. It sucks for us as a people. Eric, sad to see you go. Besides the Greek people.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. More Greek folk. Yes. As alluded to before, Disney's Magical Express. Its last day was December 31st, 2021. You know, sometimes it was a pain walking through the forever long hallway at the airport, waiting in line for a bus. You know, your first line of your Disney trip, waiting for a bus.
Yeah.
Hokey videos, the same few cartoons over and over again. Outdated segments from the Disney Parks blog playing on the TV overhead. But you know what? It was part of the experience, and you gotta say, at least I gotta say something good about the yellow tags you'd get, 2 for every guest. You put them on your big checked bags, and you didn't have to touch them ever again. You dropped them off at your departure airport, and they'd show up in your room halfway through the day once you get there. That in itself was pretty magical. But yeah, I mean, it was part of the experience, and I'm sad to see it go.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
And it was free. If you were
Well, that's
staying at
even
a
better.
resort, it was
Yeah.
free.
Bev?
I have two.
Of course
The first
you do.
one's kind of a joke, and I
Yeah.
changed the name.
Someone has to replace Terrence on the show. Might as well be you.
I changed the title of this to "Sad to See You Go, but Love to Watch You Leave,"
Mm-hmm.
and it is my annual pass. But in actuality, it's Angela Lansbury.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah,
Did she die?
Yeah,
She
that was, like,
died.
recent. That was
Yeah,
like in
it
the
was-
last couple weeks.
it was.
No.
It was.
That was a couple
No.
months ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah. I think it was summer.
it was like right after the Queen.
Taryn, look it up.
Well, that would have been September.
There you go. September.
That's
Summer. Yeah, summer. I'm still
The
right.
Queen died in September.
Sure,
She
man.
died in
Yeah, we
September.
still haven't heard enough about it.
Wow.
6.
October 11th.
There you go.
Oh, my sister's birthday.
Great.
Yeah, good old
That's
Mrs.
Lansbury.
Yeah, that was
Lansbury.
Yeah. She
Mrs.
landed all right.
Voice of Mrs. Potts, gone but never forgotten.
Yeah. Until at least, 50 years. My turn. I'm the only one left, correct?
What are we on?
I don't know.
That's sad to see you go.
Yeah.
Think
All right, let's
so.
go. The French Market in New Orleans Square, which we haven't really talked about yet, but apparently that's going away. Somehow Disney has managed to undo the best parts of Disneyland, its original and unique theming, and make it a home for wayward IP. The Tiana takeover of New Orleans Square seems desperate, and even though it's not, rushed to execution. The French Market and really that whole area of New Orleans Square is a wholly distinct district within the Disney Parks universe. And while Tiana can go in there since her IP fits, she doesn't need to go in there. So yeah, the French Market is being rethemed for Tiana's Gastro Invitational or whatever it's gonna be
Tiana's
called.
place.
Yeah, and it's
There it
fully
is.
insane. It's as insane as Bev looks right now.
And it's Tiana's Palace.
Oh, reading is
Yeah.
hard.
Well, that's slick Dexic for you. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, the French Market, while it's not themed like amazing, it's still a very unique thing to do. It's a very unique place to go. And you don't need to do it. You just don't need to do it. And it's very sad that this is where the company thinks that people want. This is what they think they want, is just IP to retheme everything. And it's that New Orleans Square was my favorite part in probably every park I've ever been to, for the save of like World Showcase, maybe. New Orleans Square is my favorite place to go. And I don't want to see those two stupid smokestacks sticking up. I don't want to see it. I'm really actually disappointed and bummed out about it. All right.
Yeah. Wait, did Eric, you did it?
Sure
you?
did.
Okay.
So
Just making
if
sure.
you took over for me because I
know.
couldn't do it, and now you're
But no, I thought that.
you're being me.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not very good at it either.
Damn. Fired. Everyone. No,
But
I'm
this
kidding.
is the best.
What a
category.
great replica.
Okay, the next category. Enough already.
The most Jeremy category.
Eric, why don't you start out with the most Jeremy category, please?
All right, enough already with these fancy food items, Disney.
Yeah.
You keep rolling.
Who wants fancy
Who wants
things?
fancy food? No,
Yeah.
all the little food items that you're seeing in kiosks around the parks, all the small quick service areas, they've got these, they keep rolling out these items that are designed for Disney Food Blog and all the other bloggers and vloggers to hold up in front of a camera so that they can say, look, I got the thing. And then everybody's got to try it. And then everybody else comes in and they all buy it. And I guess it works for Disney. Now, I don't mind it.
Are you complaining just about marketing? Because that seems like a weird hill to die on.
Well, here's where I
and
want
I
to
will
go
kill
with
you
this.
after this. That's the
Give
thing.
me-
One of us has to go.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll take it up with all the executives in the chat here
Okay.
after we're done talking. But here's where I'm going. Pivot. What a twist. Let's follow the Asian resorts lead and make some fun fancy food items. Let's make bao buns that look like Mickey's glove or like the Toy Story aliens or Mike Wazowski's eye. Let's make an ice cream treat shaped like Donald's rear end sticking out of the water with his little legs paddling up behind him. There's so many fun food items there. Everything is shaped like Mickey or it has a character image sprayed on it. I mean, Jason, you'd even like this one. It's an ice cream parfait. You got a green cookie on top with a dollop of whipped cream and then a little sculpted cookie like Roz's glasses.
Oh, I love it already.
Right?
You're right.
See, it's fun stuff everywhere, not just fancy. Everything is cute, and I want to see more of that here. Let's hold up something cool instead of just something that looks like an imitation of fancy food.
Yeah, when we do the walkabouts, I like to do videos from the Tokyo park and the Shanghai park because their foods are cool. And then people do like the eating tour through the parks or whatever.
Yeah.
I do like seeing that seasonal stuff because it is always inherently just the cutest thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
yeah, you're right. We have like a high concept churro or a deconstructed thing or whatever. And
With
it's like, we
little
don't
gold
need that.
pearls on top. I mean,
Yeah. I love it.
I totally agree.
All right, enough already of that stuff. Bev, go.
Enough already. Special days in the park. Example, Disney Plus Day. Get out of my face. It is impossible now to schedule a trip on a downtime or a slow time because every time there is less crowds, they pack in one of these stupid crap days and you get all these dum-dums showing up for the 25-cent pin that they're going to try to sell on eBay for $60 later in the day. And it's dumb and I hate it and I want it to go away
And
forever.
it's dumb. That's fair. Enough already with that. Jeremy.
It's right. And you know what? Not for nothing.
It's right.
It's Disney Plus Day.
Disney Plus
That's not
Day.
Sure.
that is not compelling content to bring in people. And by the way, you did Disney Plus Day and you still lost $10.5 billion. So knock it off.
Knock it off. They spent so much money on that awful blue carpet too.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
Yeah.
wasteful.
That's right.
Enough already. Enough already with the word adventure. I'm sick of the word
Ooh.
adventure. It's the only thing they have. It's the only title they use. Snow White's Scary Adventure, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is what Splash Mountain's becoming, Ariel's Undersea Adventure, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Disney California Adventure, The American Adventure, The Adventure Flotilla, Disney Adventure Friends Cavalcade. These Imagineers pat themselves on the back every day for being so creative. They work in this creative field, blah, blah, blah. They don't know about the web address thesaurus.com. Word adventure for everything. It's enough already. Enough already. Enough already.
Enough already.
Can you imagine?
I love that.
Tiana's episode. It doesn't really have the same ring as adventure. Tiana's occurrence.
Well, what they should do is call it Splash
Tiana's
Mountain.
journey.
Yeah.
Splash Mountain.
The many incidents of Winnie the Pooh. It just doesn't really sit right.
But here's the thing, Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain title has nothing to do with Song of the South.
That's true.
Correct.
Also,
So why can't it just stay Splash Mountain and have it be a different adventure? Have it be Tiana's or call it Tiana's Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
also
I don't
Winnie the
get what's going on.
doesn't
Go
go
ahead.
on an adventure. He dreams.
Who?
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh.
It's an adventure in his mind.
Yeah.
And Ariel's Under the Sea Adventure is basically just a retelling of the movie. Just
the
call it,
movie.
like, Under the
Just the movie.
Sea.
Just call
Yeah,
it The
but
Little
how-
Mermaid.
But it's an adventure. Who's next? Taryn?
Sure.
You're right.
Enough already.
Thanks.
Enough making us pay double for things. Don't make us pay twice. Genie Plus or Lightning Lane, pick one, not both. It's nickel and diming your guests who already had to take out loans to afford to be there. While we're on it, we can still park hop for the same price, but you don't get to actually park hop until a certain time, which inherently lowers the value of that opportunity, again, making us pay for more and getting less. Enough already.
Very good. All right. My enough already. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
Oh my gosh.
What does this have to
How
do
is
with
this Disney?
Disney?
Is it really Disney? No, but I had to put something here because if it was blank, I would just fill it with another pro Chapek comment. But really, these two have got to go kick rocks already. Enough. Every time I open my phone to look at the news, it's always something about how sad Prince Harry was about the growing up in the friggin' palace. Who cares? Nobody cares. Nobody likes you. Your wife is annoying. Stop it. Go away. We get it. You've renounced your titles. Nobody cares.
Actually, they haven't.
Nobody cares, but nobody cares about that either. Nobody cares. Stop it. Nobody cares. It's 2023. The royal family can go suck eggs. Nobody
Oh my
cares
God,
about it.
Bev, no.
Stop it. You are the worst
Bev,
kind
I
of
had
person.
respect.
Did that come with a free latte and some
I'm
Uggs?
and I'm on chapter 38.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Currently listening to
Mainlining it.
Yeah, Bev's listening to what is it? The Prince Harry book? His friggin' biography?
It's his memoir, and it's called Spare.
He's 38 years old. What does he have a memoir for? And Spare. Shut the. Oh my God.
Yeah, spare me. How about that? Spare
Yeah,
me.
spare
By the way,
me the pain of the. You are super rich. You have had everything literally handed, like literally, not even figuratively, literally handed to you. But you're complaining about it, but not doing anything about it. Where's your philanthropy? Are you helping other people? You're just writing books and having stupid friggin' Netflix documentaries made about your house. And they were even, it turns out, they were in someone else's house. The whole documentary was supposed to be their house. It's not. They rented a house for the shoot. It's so
fake.
disingenuous. It's stupid. I hate them. They should go. I don't care.
Oh my
Petros,
God!
you sound
So
exactly
sorry.
like me on
Is
my
that too
Royal
bad? Should I
Family
cut that out?
podcast.
That you might have crossed the line.
No, you're
Yeah,
absolutely
okay.
right. I think you're absolutely right. I couldn't agree. I've never agreed with Jason more on any topic than just now. We
Thank
should have
you.
a Royal Family podcast. What are we doing talking about Disney all the time?
I don't know. We should.
I would talk about the royal family.
Oh, I would talk about the royal
Yeah.
family.
I sort of need a break.
We could call it Royals Up.
With a Z. All right, maybe I'll cut out, okay?
You might want to
Yeah.
cut
All
the.
right, sorry. I'm trying to practice my avant-garde
Oh
journalism.
my gosh!
Mm.
Who are you talking to?
You can't hear that?
No.
I keep getting texts and it's pinging on my laptop, and I thought you could hear it.
Oh,
No.
Okay, well then great. Then
No.
never mind.
Now we know
Continue.
about it, though.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all we're going to think about. Okay, that's it for enough already, right?
Yes.
Everyone's done? Best Disney dollar spent.
I'll go.
Thank you.
My personal best Disney dollar spent this year was an Avengers logo set that I got for Jason for Christmas of Fat Thor's apartment.
Lego.
I don't know any of those
You
words.
said logo.
Did I say logo?
You said logo.
Yeah.
All right, let me say that. Let me just say that whole thing.
All right, let's go. Let's bring it. Let's run it back. Best Disney dollar spend. Taryn, go ahead, please.
All right, Avengers Lego set that I got for Jason for Christmas of Fat Thor's apartment.
It's pretty good. I put it
That
together.
Sounds amazing.
It has so many little details. There's like a ton of pizza, a ton of beers.
Yeah, if you go get it, you should go get it, and then you can get me another cold IPA.
Oh, you want to see it? Okay, I'll go get it.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I don't need to see it. I've already built it, but might be fun to show. That's good. Eric, why don't you go ahead and go first, please?
Disney
Second.
stock in December.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, 'cause
okay,
that was
all right.
low.
Wow, old diamond hands over here.
Wow.
Oh, true.
We'll just leave it there.
That was
Yeah.
good.
Okay, perfect.
Look it up.
That's great. All right, Bev.
I bought my personal best Disney dollar spent was I bought a tiny little stuffed animal, stuffed Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, except he's
Okay.
weighted. So
Same.
I don't know, like when you cuddle him,
Mhm.
it's very relaxing. It's very calming because I don't like weighted blankets. They make me feel like I'm being suffocated, but the weight
Yeah.
of
Of
the little
Groot,
thing is very comforting and it puts me to sleep.
like being smothered by Groot, but not by a blanket.
Just little Groot.
Okay.
Excuse me, miss. I see your weighted blanket department. Where are your weighted Groots?
And you know,
Who's taller, weighted Groot
the-
or Sam?
weighted Groot. No, Sam.
Who weighs more, weighted Groot or Sam?
Depends upon how much we had for dinner.
That's true. Sam is a very skinny little thing. Jeremy, go ahead, please.
My best Disney dollar spent, believe it or not, is the turkey leg.
Oh.
Wow, you don't seem like a turkey leg kind of a guy.
I had one on Monday.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you why. It's $12.49. Now, compare that with the cost of a smart water, which is $5.50. So a bottle of water is almost half the price of this whole leg of meat. It's so filling. You can't even eat the whole,
You can't.
eat a whole turkey leg in one
You
sitting. I
shouldn't eat a
tried.
whole turkey leg.
You
Yeah, there's no.
shouldn't.
Yeah, no.
And also, you go to Casey's Corner, a foot-long hot dog is $14.29. So for
Good
$12.49,
Lord.
you're getting this whole thing. And if you want chips, it's $14.49 or something like that. You can feed two. You could presumably go to Disney World or Disneyland. 2 people, split a turkey leg and some chips. You've each paid about $7.50 for lunch. It's plenty of food. And if you don't eat the chips, it's keto. Turkey leg, best Disney dollar spent. Forget everything you know.
Does anybody still do that? I feel like it's jazzercise. Here's Fat Thor's apartment.
Oh, Jesus.
Here, do I need to hold it?
Well, like my camera is supposed to be. My camera's theoretically better. But let's see. Let's see if we can move the light a little bit.
Very nice.
There's Thor drinking,
Stuff
and they're playing
everywhere.
video games. There's a TV that is not here right now for some reason.
No, Alice got a hold of
Alice
it.
got a hold of it, but there's a little pizza box. And here, you can hold up Thor if you want, I guess. Let's see.
Is that Korg sitting next to him?
I think
Yeah,
so. Yeah.
yeah.
Here, you can mess with it. It's cool. It was a lot of fun to do. You know, I love Legos, man, but they're so expensive. So what I think I want to do is like maybe set up some sort of like Lego exchange program where we'll just buy Legos and then see if the other person wants to buy it, you know, put it back, you know, take them apart, keep the instructions, and then we sell them to each other for like half off or whatever. See, you can see his little gut on his pants.
It's so good.
It looks like a belt buckle, but it's not. It's his big fat gut.
It's his
so
belly.
cool. Yeah, it's so good, man.
It's my favorite.
I love it. I love it. Best Disney dollar spent, Disney Plus. For me, at a time when we're not going to the parks, theaters, or anywhere else, it's the only way we can stay up on all the new Disney stuff has to offer. Andor alone was worth the spend of Disney Plus this year. It was so good. I really enjoyed that. And there's a bunch of stuff on there that we haven't seen yet, but we're going to at some point, like the new Thor movie, speaking of Thor. And so Disney Plus.
There you go. I like it.
All right. I think it's time for worst Disney dollar spent. What do you think of that? I think I'll go first this time.
Go for it.
Going to the parks. Now, I understand that the majority of park goers don't care about COVID, but I do. And for me, going to Disneyland is not worth the escalating potential for the myriad of health complications associated with catching any of the airborne viruses that are going around this time of year. And I understand I'm in the minority for that, but you know, you got to go with your gut. Go with your heart on these kinds of things. That's what I always say. Jeremy.
Oh, I was going to say, can I go next, actually?
Taryn.
Because
Jeremy, why don't you let Taryn go next?
Okay, fine.
because mine is any money spent at Disneyland. And I said, maybe it's my perspective because I haven't gone in a while, but the prices have gone up on everything and the amount of what you get for that price has gone down. Meanwhile, all you hear is that it's excessively crowded, rides are down all the time, and that some of the inherent magic has just disappeared. So I hate to say it, but I feel like spending your hard-earned money there just doesn't feel like a good dollar spent right now.
Agreed. Jeremy, why don't you let Beverly go next?
Okay. I bought and this is a bad Disney dollar spent for multiple reasons, but I bought a tie-dye Spirit jersey.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
God, I love you. I love you so
Why?
much.
I mean-
What were you drinking?
So to be
Kool-Aid.
to be fair, Abby wanted to get matching Spirit jerseys, and she really liked the tie-dye one, and they had it in her size, and I was like, okay.
Look, tie-dye is hip now. Tie-dye is back.
It's not good. It's not good. But
I thought that what happened
didn't have
was
my
you
Crocs.
looked at it and said, "Hey, this feels itchy and looks ugly. Let's get it."
well, funny you say that because I have 2 other Spirit jerseys who, in fact, are itchy and look funny, but I love them because there's a certain quality to them. And this one was the same price. It's extra ugly. And like the D on the chest
Lapel?
area, is it a lapel if you're not
No,
wearing a
it's
The
jacket?
breast.
No.
Oh, I didn't want to say.
Yeah, it's just the
I didn't wanna
chest.
say
But that's what it
breast.
is. It's the breast. It's the
No,
breast
it's on the
area.
chest.
On the
shirt,
chest,
it's a
the
chest.
D on the chest is peeling and like crackling, and the Disneyland on the back is
geez.
like it's didn't wash well. The quality is just not there, and it was $80, and I just Regret it every time I see it in my closet.
I don't like Spirit jerseys. I think they look terrible on just about everybody. But tie-dye is in because for Christmas, speaking of that, for Christmas, I got some tie-dye Crocs.
Woo!
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. And I've worn these to pick up Alice on multiple occasions.
I'm sure you have.
Like walked into her school and be seen by visible like other human beings, other
So-
Was
parents.
she like, send help? I don't know him.
This is true love because he bought these for himself like I don't know, 9 months ago, and they came and they didn't fit him, and I was like, oh shucks, 'cause they're so ugly.
They're so good.
And then, on Amazon's Black Friday, they were like just right there, and they had his size, and I was like, oh man, I gotta do it,
Yeah, you do.
and I did.
All right, who's next?
That is love.
Worst Disney dollar spend.
I'll go.
All right, there you go.
Because the math works out, because for 2 of Bev's Spirit jerseys, you could buy one share of Disney stock in January, which would have been a really poor choice as well. At least for 2022. Right.
That's accurate.
What's it at
Yeah.
right now?
Right now, it's heading back up toward 100. It's in
Okay.
the upper 90s again. So
Yeah,
it
99.
bottomed out.
81. Yeah, it sure really did. It really did. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. And I bought some at 80. I mean, why
Oh,
not?
nice. You went all the way down to 80? Dang doodle, dude. I should have bought some more.
Yeah, that would have been a good time to buy.
Didn't quite hit
Dang
80,
doodle.
80, but yeah, in the low 80s.
Yeah. Okay. Who's next? Anybody else?
Me.
Jeremy actually hasn't gone yet.
Me.
Stop trying to edge me out of this.
Yeah.
My worst Disney dollar spent is the money Disney spent on the harmonious barges.
Was that last year, though?
No.
I feel like that was
last
like,
year was tearing up interventions.
yeah. All right. But
Which also is a
2022.
little bit this year.
Okay. All right. I'll let
Disney
you
spent-
slide on this one.
You're not letting me slide. This is it. Disney spent millions of dollars. There is some talk that Harmonious cost in the hundreds of millions of dollars to create. And now Harmonious and its barges are officially being put out to pasture. We have confirmation now that the barges also will be removed from the lagoon. This show ended up lasting merely 18 months, just as long as the 50th anniversary. Disney needed to get rid of it. They needed an excuse to get rid of it. And the end of the 50th anniversary was their excuse. Inside word is that the number one most often mentioned complaint, as I said earlier in Epcot surveys, was in fact the barges. Add to that, most people weren't enjoying the IP-based show Harmonious. And what happened was people weren't staying at Epcot. Evening attendance began to suffer. And if people aren't going around in a round world showcase, they aren't buying your booze. People weren't staying for the show. People weren't staying to enjoy the World Showcase atmosphere. So not only did Harmonious and its barges cost a lot of money just in order to construct, but they ended up costing the park money every single day. They cost the park money today in the form of lost revenue by by people driving away and not staying in the park. The biggest, worst Disney dollar spent was Harmonious. And by the way, we said this from the beginning. We called this.
We did. We absolutely have been railing on them from the jump. But since it was announced, we said this is a terrible idea.
This is a bad idea. They're spending all this money. But this is the problem: is these Imagineers. And let's go back. Let's think about it. Well, I'm gonna wait. Hold on. I got this later. Let's go.
Okay.
Keep going.
Is that it, Taryn? Are we done?
That's it.
Moving on.
That's
Okay.
everybody.
Biggest Disney villain. Bev, why don't you go ahead and go first?
The Disney board.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay. Let's hear it. Why?
Hot take.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's that hot of a take, because I think that they suck. They made a bad choice, and sorry, that was
good
very
analysis.
profound. Thank you.
That was
no,
great.
I mean, we know what they did to Chapek. I think that they
Word
went
on the street is they suck.
They
Is that
do
correct?
suck. No,
What do you have to, please respond.
they went about it in the worst way possible.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just,
Amateur hour.
It was yucky, and it just I don't know how
Bob,
to
no, I'm laughing because Bob Chapek is in the chat and he says, "Amen, Bev."
right. great. Thank you, Bob. I got you. I wasn't even a huge fan of yours, and I got you. You got
He has a great wine collection, I'm sure.
You got hosed, bro. And
He did.
And
he got hosed down like Ghostbusters 2. You know what I mean?
And I blame the Disney board, and I also think that they needed a scapegoat. 100%. They knew everything that was coming down the pipeline. It happened. They changed their mind, and they were like, well, he can be our sacrificial lamb.
They needed a scapegoat, so they made one. Like, they manufactured this man to take the fall. They wagged the dog, I guess, or whatever. Anyway, Eric, you go.
Okay, I'll go.
Get us off this line here.
Okay. Well, I'll only say the Chapek very soon. Say the name Chapek.
Okay.
Chapek.
Yeah.
Kareem Daniel is the biggest Disney villain this year. Chapek's right-hand man, who was the first to go after Iger was hired. This is the man directly responsible for movies like Turning Red opening on streaming. He was a rising star. He charmed Bobby Chapek, and central to this corporate intrigue. Quick notes here about him. In case you didn't listen to the Supreme Resort's great episode about the ousting of Chapek, he was put in charge of DMED, Disney Media and Entertainment Distribution Division, which is basically, let's take something that tells all the creative people what to do that's run by the financial people. So the creatives hated him, widely disliked. And one of those folks who was involved with the intrigue with Christine McCarthy, who suggested that he consolidate marketing efforts. He take all of the marketing from creative folks who are making movies and say, I'll do it cheaper, which means he just wouldn't market it at all. And thus, once everything was flipped over, once the shakeup happened, Iger came in and said, that division's going first, and so are you. Kareem Daniel, everybody.
All right.
Okay.
A little bit of a victim, but still a villain.
Sure. I mean, he was hired to do a job, and he did his job. That's what the same thing about Chapek is what I say. He was hired to do the job. He did his job. Never got a chance to correct it. Anyway, Jeremy, go ahead, please.
The biggest Disney villain this year is Genie Plus. Despite what Josh D'Amaro tells the New York Times and us, it is not, in fact, well liked. It's clumsy, it's annoying, and it makes terrible recommendations that make absolutely zero sense. Just this past week, Disney made enhancements to Genie Plus by including complimentary on-ride PhotoPass digital downloads as a perk for guests who buy Disney Genie Plus. Josh D'Amaro said to the New York Times, we believe in the Genie product, which has been incredibly popular, but we're going to have to look at ways to add more value. Yeah, that's what you do with something that's incredibly popular. You keep trying to fix it, Josh D'Amaro.
Right. If it's incredibly popular, good.
It's like saying that bathrooms are extremely popular at Disney because they have long lines. No, we just have to use it in order to enjoy ourselves, you absolute moron. How dare you spin this? How dare you take our words and twist them? We don't like it. Get rid of it. You're a loser and you suck. And by the way, my villain last year was Josh D'Amaro, and he a little bit still is, but I'm going to go with Genie Plus.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Who's next, Aaron?
Me. My biggest Disney villain
is
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Uh-oh. He's in the chat, so be careful.
I know. For attempting to take Disney's control over Reedy Creek District. Under DeSantis's proposed legislation, Disney will no longer control its own government. They will live under the same laws as everyone else, will be responsible for their own outstanding debts, and will pay their fair share of taxes, according to him. And I would say that if it were up to Disney, this is their biggest villain right now.
Okay. My biggest Disney villain is Bob Iger. Replacing your hand-picked successor and then coming off like you're the hero is a straight-up villain move. Straight-up Disney villain move also. I feel like that's very much almost a Disney movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to set this person up to fail because I don't want to leave, but I've put off retirement 5 times now. And I want to be forced to be brought back.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I could definitely see that.
All right, let's do the flip side of that. Biggest Disney hero. We were all done.
Wait, did Bev go? Everybody went?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Wow.
making sure. Good job.
Jeez, turn.
Sorry.
Biggest Disney hero. I'll just go first because I'm already talking.
Okay.
Cast members. All the money that Disney wants from us is due to cast members of all the parks. The people on the ground grinding our girths into rocket ships to space or flying elephants. They are the people that make the Disney parks function and function well, which is why it's pretty gross to hear about Disney pushing back on raises and contract negotiations. Biggest Disney heroes of 2022, cast members. Cast members, 100%. And anybody else who says anything different is wrong. So we can just move on to the next. No. Eric, you go.
Oh,
next.
great. So I picked another anti here. So biggest Disney anti-hero in some ways is Nelson Peltz.
Never
you
heard
go.
of him. Yeah.
There we go.
Is he a trapper?
Yes, he's a trapper. He created the coonskin cap. Yeah, the original inventor. Yeah.
Josh Gad is in the chat and he says, I logged out, but I heard biggest Disney hero and thought I should log back in.
Dear God.
You spelled turd wrong.
Biggest Disney turd. I
need to change my answer.
The chat.
The chat is great.
It's going pretty well tonight. All right. Well, Nelson Peltz. Nelson Peltz has an investment fund called Trion Fund Management, which recently, as in within the last month here, bought an $800 million stake in Disney. Now, Nelson's a little bit of a threat here. He's actually right now currently filing a formal proxy challenge against Disney. What that means is he's buying up a ton of stock and threatening the company to say, you better put me on the board of directors because I own a large hunk of your company.
Is this biggest Disney villain?
Well,
This
hero.
is hero.
He's an anti-hero, and he could be a villain as well. We'll see how things go. This is interesting. Now, what's come out recently is that he was one of the people that in November came along and said to basically approach Disney and said, you really need to start shaping things up. Your cost control is, well, you have no cost control. You're paying your executives too much.
Mm-hmm.
And when the board kind of brushed him off, he started buying up stock and they started getting scared, which is a reason why there's some theory that, or some thought that this is what prompted Susan Arnold to step things up and make the switch to Iger a little bit more urgent. And as of just this week, Susan Arnold, the former chairperson of the board, has now been replaced by Nike's Mike Parker. Disney is still holding Nelson off. They're not letting him join the board. Some financial folks say that they should let him on. Disney says, no, we still like to have our insiders in here. We'll see how things go, but at least this guy might have come in and shaken things up at the right moment. And kind of set their plans in motion a little bit differently than they expected. The scary part, of course, is that he's filing this proxy challenge, and this is the first time they've faced anything like this since the Ron Miller escapade in the 80s.
Oh yeah, he got unfairly ousted. So would you say that this man he's more of a half Nelson? He's halfway there.
Oh,
yeah. That's a riff off of a Lou joke in the chat, everybody.
Oh, hey, there we go.
I will go
Disney hero.
next.
Yes. Wow. Okay. All right. Here we go, Captain Assertive. Let's go.
My biggest Disney hero is a man by the name of Nelson Peltz.
Give
Peltz
it to
has
us.
but I'm going to add a few things because
good.
I obviously agree with everything that Eric said. And he has been saying a lot of things out publicly. He was on Squawk Box today, I believe, saying that criticizing Disney for their management of the company. One of the things he said, and particularly he's been critical of the Fox acquisition, which is something that I have been vocally critical of because the Fox acquisition saddled Disney with about $71 billion of debt right before a global pandemic set in, which was tough to service. He says, quote,
right before retirement of Mr. Bob Iger.
Oh, here's the thing. Well, and I'm going to get to it, but he says, quote, Fox hurt this company. Fox took away the dividend. Fox turned what was once a pristine balance sheet into a mess. These are Peltz's words. Peltz says he wants to be on the board so he can have access to other board members to tell them where they've gone wrong and what opportunities they're missing. Fox's Treon investment fund that Eric alluded to called out what it viewed as poor corporate governance on Disney's part, including failed succession planning and over-the-top compensation practices. Well, these are not new. These can be tied directly, including to what I was just talking about, to Bob Iger. These aren't Chapek problems. Bob Iger is the one who had bad succession planning. Bob Iger is the one who bought Fox. Bob Iger is the one who had bad over-the-top compensation for executives. So Peltz is calling out quote unquote Disney, but these are Iger policies.
Terrence, you should pay attention. Pay attention and learn something from Jeremy with this.
Guess who's
sermon
back to
he's
allegedly fix these problems is Bob Iger.
Right.
Treon also called out Disney's streaming strategy, saying it's struggling with profitability despite reaching similar revenues as Netflix and having a significant IP advantage. Yet it can't make any money, unlike Netflix. He also criticized what it believes is Disney's lack of cost discipline and over-earning at the parks in order to subsidize its streaming losses, which has been another part of the mess it describes as Disney's balance sheet, which it was not previously. So I agree with Eric. This guy is saying all the things that I think we've been saying for some time, but also need to be heard. And I think he needs to take the Disney board to task. He owns $900 million worth of Disney, I think, which is about 9.4 million shares. So he's not going away. That's the thing. He may not get onto the Disney board like he wants to, but he's not going away, and he's very vocal and he has media attention. So Disney better watch out. But I agree, because here's the thing. We've been saying this, but we just have a podcast.
Yeah, we don't have $900 million.
We could say this all day long. Peltz has got the money. So
he got the juice. Yeah, you know what? A lot of what you said, I agree with. We have been saying this for a long time. It's not a hot take. I don't understand why the Disney company sort of ignores what a lot of people are, sort of saying. It's just a lot of the choices they make are sort of weird. The compensation, I feel like that's just old school, multi-billion-dollar company, international company stuff. And I feel like it needs to change. I mean, it's needed to change for, decades, but I feel like it's going to be changing soon. There's like almost a reckoning of, the late COVID has sort of exposed the differentiation between, or the difference between upper management and low level boots on the ground workers. And I think that needs to really change, especially with a company like Disney, who makes so much money and pays their people not that much.
Oh yeah.
For making the money, for supplying the grease for the wheels of the company. It makes no sense, man. And so I hope this cat gets on the board and shakes things up, because you're right. The Fox acquisition was weird. It didn't need to happen. It really didn't. And then Iger goes, all right, peace. Here's the keys. Chapek, you bald, beautiful man. Here you go.
No.
Oh, you're not doing well. Let me take those back. It sort of seems like he set him up. It really does. It really feels that way. Anyway.
Maybe you should have released the virus a few weeks later, right?
Yeah, that's right. Iger is basically the Brad Pitt's character in 12 Monkeys. No, not Brad. No, Brad Pitt, the scientist with the jars, whatever his name was, who released the. Never mind. Who's next? Biggest Disney hero. Who's next? We all done?
No, I'll go.
All
right. My biggest Disney hero is Scarlett Johansson.
Ooh.
She took on the beast openly. Her lawsuit with Disney over the Marvel film Black Widow, to which she was the star and an executive producer, was contracted to be released exclusively in theaters, but without her knowledge or sign-off, the studio released it both in theaters and on Disney Plus, boosting Disney Plus subscribers and subsequently diluting the amount of box office cash the film made. This was a blatant breach of contract, and Johansson didn't take it sitting down, nor did she accept a quick and quiet settlement. She took the lawsuit public, stood up for what was right, and ultimately Disney and Johansson settled, but not without a lot of PR. This isn't something you see in Hollywood, and especially at Disney, and I can't help but feel like even though her position in this lawsuit doesn't affect Disney park employees and has nothing to do with their earnings, it did open up the possibility that Disney doesn't always do the right thing. And I do feel like her standing up for herself maybe set a precedent for other Disney employees who feel unfairly treated to follow suit at some point.
Was that in 2022?
Yes.
It was the beginning of the year.
A long time ago.
Apparently, Genie Plus has entered the chat, everybody.
Get out.
They say it's a good time to go on Splash.
Yeah, they say, based on your interests, Josh, I'd say Josh Demaro is also in the chat. I'd say right now is a great time to make another movie. So there you go. Genie Plus has jokes,
Chat
everybody.
is silly.
Yeah. All right, that's it. We're done. We're on to predictions, right? This is the last category.
Yes.
Oh
Okay,
my
great.
God.
Here we go. So we're going to say what our predictions were for last year. Rehash that real quick. We don't need to go into great length and details about it because it's already, 10:04. It's already, I don't know how many hours. We've been almost 2 hours. So,
Okay.
Bev, why don't you go first? Because I know you don't have any from last year.
I don't have mine from last year. I could not
All right.
find it.
That's fine. Go ahead.
My prediction for 2023 is that Disney will not see the improvement in numbers that they are expecting to see with the onboarding of Iger.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Eric, you also don't have any from last year because you weren't on the show.
Correct.
All right. Let's
All
get
right.
all this out of the way. All this fluff out of the way.
Who cares about these people?
Yeah,
Right.
we don't matter.
Nope.
Yeah. All right. Based on my villain and hero, I'm predicting Disney War Part 2. The original, I was also almost going to call it a novel because it is very interesting, but the original accounting of the ousting of Iger, the ousting of Eisner by Iger and forces was compelling enough. But will we see another more dangerous threat against the Disney company? Is the story of Iger coming back interesting enough, or are we going to have to talk about Nelson Peltz in this one too? Let's find out. I don't know.
It's only one way to find out, man.
Exactly. Tune in next week. I'm assuming that there's going to be a rebalancing of streaming as we go. We've learned enough about how to release things in theaters, how to release things on streaming.
Mm-hmm.
The whole industry has just got to change, and Disney really needs to stay on top of that instead of this kind of slapdash. I don't know, put it in the movies, and well, probably a simple one. This has to happen, right? A gradual release of park reservations and changes in annual passes and things like that. I don't have any real thoughts about when that'll happen, but these things will happen eventually, right?
Maybe. Sure, man. I don't know. I think
Yeah.
Rezzies are here to stay.
We'd hope so.
That's my thought.
Well, I mean,
They're already getting rid of them.
Don't
Yeah,
think
Walt
so.
Disney
I don't
World.
think
Really?
so.
They've announced it this week.
They're getting rid
Yeah.
of Rezzies?
For annual pass holders at Disney World do not.
Okay,
but
annual pass
totally
at Disney World. Okay.
Annual
All right.
pass holders at Disney World no longer need to make a park reservation for Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, or Animal Kingdom or Magic Kingdom Monday through Friday. However,
See?
asterisk,
Okay.
asterisk was
Right.
so confusing and convoluted.
Mhm.
You do still have to make a park reservation after 2:00 at the Magic Kingdom on weekends. This is what they
That's
came up
dumb.
with.
I wouldn't do
This
it.
is what they.
That's a
No,
good
I just
thing.
wouldn't go.
How about don't do it yet, guys? You're not ready.
You're not ready.
You
Right.
don't have it. You're not ready for it. Don't. But they had to because Universal announced we're building Texas, we're building Las Vegas, and they're like, well, I guess we can figure out.
Yeah, we have a new
annual pass.
Spirit
news.
jersey.
So they have nothing. They absolutely have nothing. This company is devoid of any creativity or anything in.
All right, Jeremy, shut up. Let's finish this. Let's
I'm
finish the
not
show.
done. All right.
Are you done?
No, I
I'm done.
my
Oh.
predictions.
All right, go ahead.
Jeremy
Keep
can-
going.
keep
I
going.
horned in on Eric's predictions. with
Yeah, that's
my-
fine. That was it.
So anyway, as I was saying,
Oh, sorry.
so I have two predictions. Do you want me to give them both?
Wait,
or
is
do you want
Eric
to pick
done or
one?
not?
Yes, I am definitely
he's
done.
done.
I have nothing
Okay.
else.
I didn't know. I didn't hear. I'm just checking because I want to protect my new fresh boy.
Your new
I have
fresh
two.
boy.
Mhm.
I don't know,
Jeremy,
I
why
like
don't
that.
you go
I
ahead
don't
with your
know.
One or do
prediction?
you want two?
I want
All of
everything
them.
that you have. Give me
All of
both
them.
barrels, baby.
Okay, so my first one is I believe that this year we will get an announcement about a people mover returning to Disneyland.
Oh
I'm
my
staying
gosh.
with it.
I will bet you 100 American
Oh,
dollars
jeez.
that will not happen.
Okay, so next year in January we will settle this bet. We have a 1 year
Okay.
bet.
1 year bet.
$100.
You got it.
You're on.
All right.
Oh, boy.
My second prediction is that
Jason will make $200.
Jason will continue to suck.
I feel like that's.
I mean,
I'd take that bet.
yeah, man. One doesn't necessarily cancel out the other.
My second prediction is that, as we know, Harmonious is going away at Epcot, and Epcot Forever is taking the place of that show temporarily. There will be a new show. My prediction is that that new show that replaces Epcot Forever later on this year will in some way be tied to Illuminations, minimally in name.
Mm.
It will probably be called Illuminations : something, or just
okay.
Illuminations. Because remember, when Illuminations Reflections of Earth was in work, it was called it was called Earth 2000. But the Imagineers, knowing their customer, said, wait. We have to at least work in the word Illuminations, because this show is so popular and has such a beloved fan following. We have to keep the name somehow in it in order to bring them along on this ride. Now, today's Imagineers did nothing of the sort. They are hubristic. They don't care. They said, we're going to call it Harmonious. We don't care. But I think they've learned a very strong lesson with the feedback and the attendance of Harmonious. And I think that they may actually learn this lesson, and they will go back and they will say, we're going to bring something back, and we're going to at least minimally look, it may not have the story. I hope it has the story. May not have the soundtrack. Hope it has the soundtrack. I hope they just upgrade it and give it new zhuzh and zhuzh. But I think that they will minimally call it Illuminations. That's my prediction.
This is what happens, folks, when you
All right.
when you find guests on Twitter.
Shush.
They never leave, and they rant and rave.
I will. Do you want me? I will leave.
I would
No.
never
I
want
can-
you to
this
leave.
can be
I
our
would
last
rather
show. I am
fire
fine
myself.
with it. I have plenty of things to
I
do.
would
can
rather
go off into
fire
the sunset.
myself than have you
Goodbye.
leave. Get out of here. Stop it. Stop
don't
it.
tease, because it could happen.
It would never happen. I would not be a whole person.
All right,
Without
Taryn,
you.
prediction.
That is true.
Yeah, Terry, go ahead. He's already running the show.
Yeah.
Now I can leave. Jeremy, show is yours.
Well, my 2022 predictions did not come true. I thought that there was going to be concept art for a third gate. I thought we were going to see a Trader Sam's expansion. I think this one
No.
did come true. Genie Plus and Lightning Lane prices slightly decreased.
No,
I
they
don't think they're up
increased.
now.
Yeah, they increased a lot, man.
But I
Yeah.
thought then they decreased.
I
No?
think they're sliding, but they tend to trend upward.
I said similarly to your new boy. That reservations.
Why did you make it weird?
Yeah, with your new peculiar relationship.
That,
It's
that was
weird.
it. That was the
Yeah.
line.
Weird.
Yeah.
That reservations will magically become easier to get with less restrictions overall. This was all 2022. And park prices are not going to increase. That obviously did not happen. So my predictions this year are a little easier. One, I think that Disney is going to win the Reedy Creek District battle over DeSantis. I don't know how, but because they're Disney, I think they're going to win. I think Lightning Lane and Genie Plus are going to be restructured to be under a single roof, either paying for fast passes separately, or it's all going to be built into one, but at a higher cost. And then finally, I think Jason, Alice, and I are going to go to Disneyland.
Side your mind.
He is not going anywhere near
There's
that.
Wow.
no way. Sorry, bro.
I don't know. I think so.
Okay, whatever. Jeremy, did you talk about how you were wrong last year, or what your predictions were for last
No,
year?
my prediction was, thank you very much. My prediction was that the Hoop-de-Doo musical review would return to Disney's Fort Wilderness Lodge, and it did.
Yay! Oh, sorry. Good job. God. I'm the last one. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mercifully.
All right. My predictions for last year that in 2022, the Muppets would have a home in Disneyland once more. And I was sort of right. I'm calling this as accurate. There was that Muppet bus thing for the 4th of July or whatever that happened. So there was that thing. And then over in WDW, they have the Muppets Great Moments in American History show. So Muppets are coming back.
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. You got to test the waters, I guess.
Okay.
My next one was that Star Wars Launch Bay goes away in favor of something, anything else. And, I've thrown out have it be a museum of, old animatronics and the history of the animatronics or anything, some walkthrough museum. But the notes I had for that were just, it just says wishful thinking.
Yeah.
And then the last prediction I had for 2022 was that ticket prices won't go up this year. And then a comment for that, I put the words Joker voice, and then I just wrote ha 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 a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So that tells you how that turned out. But my predictions for 2023 will be as follows, or my predictions are, we're going to see more Star Wars and more Marvel stuff in ways we never thought possible.
Oh.
Iger loves his IP and will be looking for any way to Iger up the parks and retail arms of the company. I think we'll hear more of these movies and shows being announced as being in development this year, which, okay, yeah, it doesn't take a great leap of logic to dream up, but I don't know what you want from me. Then the second one, the prices for Lightning Lane tickets will plateau, no longer hitting $25 at times per ticket. Iger seems to be realizing that his little project is pissing people off, so I think he will take this new sense of guest goodwill and play the hero once again.
All right.
That's it. What do you think about that?
It's going to be a weird year.
It's gonna be a weird.
So what,
year.
you were just wrong?
What? What did you just say to me?
I think Jeremy fell asleep.
You were pretty much wrong.
Those were his predictions for this year.
Yeah.
Right, he was wrong.
The year hasn't happened yet.
Oh, those are your predictions for this coming year? You're still
Yeah.
predicting that Bob Chapek is doing stuff?
Bob Iger.
You just said Bob Chapek would blah blah blah.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought you said Bob Iger or Bob Chapek. Sorry.
See, they're both
Okay.
Bob. It's very confusing.
It is.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Yeah. It's also 4:00 in the morning where Jeremy is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Poor guy.
that's true.
I was going to do a little bit of Disney news, but I sort of don't want to get through it. I guess the big announcement is that Tiana's Palace is coming to Disneyland Park later this year. They're going to elbow their way into the French market at Disneyland, which is very sad. I feel like this is just awful news. I'm disappointed with Disney in the way that they're doing this. And I'm looking at the comments. Will there be anywhere to get Mickey beignets while this construction is underway? That's what you want. That's the question you're asking.
First of all,
That's Bev's question.
My daughters are
No.
heartbroken to
It's
not
not.
have
The one
their
they didn't
favorite
delete.
treat on the trip this year. Your daughters are heartbroken over beignets.
go to Ralph Brennan's. Is it closed?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Right now, it is.
The walls are up.
Mm.
My family and I are beyond excited for this transformation. First of all, bot. There's no way someone uses the word transformation in normal conversation when they
Right.
use comments on it.
Signed, Zach Ridley.
Thank you, Disney, for continuing to imagine and develop new experiences.
No one
No
wrote
one-
this. No one's.
No.
That's the. I'm telling you, they have this cabal of people who work there who go and post shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
I agree.
This is not real. for
No,
sure.
absolutely not. And they don't leave negative comments up, which they shouldn't. But yeah, I know because I've written several of them and they don't get posted.
Yeah, they take them down, but then they leave the fake comments from their employees who are like, oh, what a great new experience. We love it. What a great new act. What do they call it? An activation? How they call
I don't know, man.
Oh, I can't wait for this activation.
Yeah, and that's it. There's some other stuff, but it's late and we're going to get out of here. So thank you everybody for tuning in to the Year in Review 2022. We went over the review, went over the year, and it was a good time, everybody. Oops, hold on. What's going on here?
Whoa,
What's
that was
going
like
on?
a remix.
Remix.
Yeah, I meant to do this. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. We like doing this show. It's a little bit of fun, as Jeremy would say, we zhuzh it up. We zhuzh the show up with prattling on and on about stuff we have no idea what we're even saying, but we just come up with stuff.
True.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah, I had fun.
Punch it.
All right, let's get out of here. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to leave, and you're going to leave too because we're done with the show. But if you want to support the show, we have patreon.com/earsup. So not only, I'm going to turn off the exit music for a second because I do want to mention, we not only now have the secret show, but we have a special show for Patreon members only from PewniePod.
Oh, cool.
They're doing a Patreon only show. And a Patreon only show from the Supreme Resort. Right, Eric?
Us? Yes.
Yeah, that show.
After hours, we call
which
it.
was normally on SoundCloud, I think, but you're taking it off SoundCloud and putting it on
Taking it away from the
Patreon.
people.
That's right. And putting it behind the paywall. So you get for $5 a month. And actually, I think I put the Supreme Resort show on at like $2 a month. Give the but I forget. So let's just pretend I didn't say that.
It's
for
only
$5 a month.
It's
You get
fine.
secret show. You get after hours. You get the PewniePod extra. So you get 3 extra shows. Plus, you're supporting all the other shows that we have, which are this show, In Depth, PewniePod, Supreme Resort, Scraping the Vault, and Bantha Milk. That's 6 shows. So 9 shows. $5 a month, 9 shows. We don't want you to go anywhere else. We're the only podcast that exists.
Yeah, basically.
And we're great. And we're handsome too, right, Jeremy?
Correct.
All right. Now we're done. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate it very much. And until next time, we'll see you in the parks. Correct.